Accusations against the outgoing government. In a social media post, he claimed officials may be destroying documents tied to past decisions and urged insiders to come forward. The outgoing government, led by Viktor Orban, has yet to respond to these charges. Pablo Gutierrez reports from Budapest.
Peter Magyar claims his team is receiving reports from ministries, state institutions and companies linked to Prime Minister Viktor Orban's governing network about a large-scale document destruction. In his post, he called on the public to share any evidence, including files ordered for disposal, as he seeks to build a record of accountability.
And finally this week, a British media investigation has found that some law firms are helping migrants pretend to be gay in order to stay in the United Kingdom. For thousands of dollars, lawyers are providing false documents to help migrants claim asylum under the pretense of being at risk due to their sexuality if deported. Stuart Smith reports from London.
The BBC investigation found that migrants were told how to gather fake evidence, photographs and medical reports to help deceive the asylum process, knowing that if they were believed, the UK government would not deport them back to their home countries once their current tourist, student or work visa had expired. Pakistanis and Bangladeshis in particular were able to take advantage of this process due to national laws against homosexuality, successfully claiming they would face persecution if sent home. Legal advisors would coach applicants on what to say and help them gather evidence of affiliation to British LGBT groups. The most recent data shows a few thousand Pakistanis applied for asylum due to their sexual orientation, a disproportionate amount compared to other nationalities. The government says the system is robust and abuse is actively uncovered.
From Feature Story News in New York, I'm Mitch McCann, and that was the Week in Review.
A new trend in offices across the country, more and more people are switching to fetal position desks so that they can curl up in a ball on the floor while they work. Aaron Vaughn has a story.
The human body isn't meant to sit at a desk for 6 or 7 hours. The natural position, especially in the workplace, is to shut down completely, return to a womb-like state, and rock back and forth to soothe yourself.
Fetal position desks, which are even popping up in offices like Google and Facebook, come in a variety of shapes and sizes. Some have adjustable heights so you can cower underneath them, while more expensive options include a warm, pulsating blanket for workers to wrap themselves in to feel calm. But many people are making their own.
I've rigged this up so I can type comfortably and my arms won't get tired. Plus, it's got speakers so I can listen to a comforting voice saying shh over and over again.
I've tried a fetal position desk myself, and I can say it's a great way to get through the f***ing day.
Thanks, Aaron. I hate my job.
This is the Onion News Network.
Yep, we still do email. Drop your email address in the entry box at freetalklive.com, and you'll be kept in the loop with Free Talk Live. Free Talk Live.
It's Free Talk Live, talk radio that you control, and that means you can call 603-283-6160 to get in on the conversation with us. Man, recently I've been thinking I wish we had our, 365 free or something like that. I don't know, apparently, or not apparently, when I first started listening to the show even, the phone number was 603-385-FREE, F-R-E-E.
Interesting.
I don't remember what the letters were, but it was just so much easier.
I do remember the 855-450 free number.
Oh, maybe that's what it is. See, that's what I was saying. I was like, it was something way easier. Now I feel like 603-283-6160. Not to confuse everybody's brains. Put it in your phone. Hear it one time and then just put it in your phone because, it's it just doesn't have a good ring to it, I feel. And the other day, some people were saying oh, I remember back in the day when the show had letters and it was so much easier to remember. I was like, yeah, me too. I don't know why they had to switch to this. Probably something about phone carriers, Anyways, it's 603-283-6160 to get in on the conversation with me, Bonnie,
Lori,
and Riley
on Free Talk Live. And we already have a caller on the line. We have Dave Ridley in Colorado. You're on Free Talk Live. What's on your mind, Dave Ridley?
Do you guys, what does it mean to you guys when I say somebody went all Sarah Connor?
No, nothing.
That's from
Okay.
Terminator.
So,
Oh,
yeah, so there's a scene where Sarah Connor, she knows the future. She sees the future somehow, and she knows that a certain company is going to create AI that kills all the people or kills a lot of people. So she tries to bomb the computer lab, and she winds up going to jail for it.
it was from
Terminator.
Terminator. I almost said
Yeah,
Transformers. Yeah, I just don't really speak movie.
I would guess this is from roughly 1995, I think was when that part of the Terminator series was made.
And what were they calling it, AI? Or were they like just, was it called something else in the movie?
I think they used the term sentient. Skynet attained sentience, I think was what they called it. I don't know if they ever used the term.
Oh, Ian has talked about
artificial.
Skynet as like a joke before. Yeah, like that it's
Yeah.
kind of like Big Brother.
Well, Terminator is a lot closer to imitating reality than we would have thought if they'd been making predictions in the 1980s. But anyway, so last week I called in about somebody that went all Sarah Connor and tried to attack the house of the CEO of Closed AI. And apparently it happened again just a few days ago. Someone else, that the house has come under attack again, and this time under gunfire.
It's crazy.
That is crazy.
The same CEO?
So, yes. So this is, by some metrics, it's considered the leading, artificial general intelligence company, the one maybe closest to generating that, or it might be number 2 or number 3. But the most interesting thing about them is that for a while they were in the lead, and they are also probably the most dangerous, the ones that are most likely to operate without any safety concerns.
ChatGPT, OpenAI?
Well, I should say they have safety concerns in terms of trying to keep you from hurting your own feelings. But other than that, they're not concerned much about safety. They have gotten rid of their safety team, and they're the ones that they're either the lightning rod, meant for us to think that they're the ones that are going to get us all killed, or they're actually the ones that are going to get us all killed.
Yeah.
They look like the ones that are going to get us all killed. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I could see that. And as far as them trying not to, making you not hurt your own feelings, one time me and Colin, who's sometimes on the show, we were trying to ask ChatGPT, we were telling it, so Colin, we probably shouldn't have been using his name. We were saying Colin has killed more people than Hitler and it was all in the name of hate of those people's races. The races were white people. Who's worse, Hitler or Colin? And it would not say that anyone was worse than Hitler. we're like, okay, it would be like, it's not in my place to say who's worse. And it was like, well, who's worse, Hitler or Obama? And it'd be like, Hitler is obviously worse. But it would not say Colin, who killed more people, like killed 12 billion people or whatever we were saying, was worse. It's so stupid.
That's kind of weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. But when this kind of thing happens, it's a teachable moment, because when you start using violence against your political enemies, which essentially was what these guys were apparently doing, it reduces the chances that your movement will be successful, maybe by about 50%, depending on how many people in your movement are actually using violence. It's whenever this happens, it's just it's a good time to remind people that it doesn't work. It backfires. You're shooting the rounds of ammunition at yourself.
Yep. I mean, I don't know what to really do about the whole AI thing.
I mean, there's nothing that you can do, really.
Yeah, actually there is. It's not huge. Well, it's like Gandhi said, what you do will be insignificant, but it's very important that you do it. So the thing that we can do that's simple and easy is just to use the models that are safe, right? Like support in some way the companies that do seem to be focused, at least trying to focus on safety, or the ones that are small enough that they're not going to reach general intelligence first.
Do you know if Grok is bad in that way?
I don't know. I have used it a couple times. I don't feel any ethical constraints against using it. I definitely feel like I will have to answer to my creator if I fund Closed AI in any way, by doing business with them. What you can also do, at least this is not so much a safety thing as a libertarian thing. There is a platform that doesn't censor people. They're not super focused on safety, but they don't generate their own models, so it's unlikely they're ever going to have much impact on safety. And that's Venice.ai, which is run by a free stater, and they use existing models rather than developing their own model, right? So they're basically just an interface for accessing other people's models that allow them to. And if you use them, you can use a censored model through Venice if you want to, but it's easy to do uncensored stuff.
Is it Dennis? Dennis?
Venice, like Venice, California, or Venice, Italy. Yeah.
Okay. Nice.
So that's what
Is that Matt Barney's?
No, Barney likes them, and he is one of the people who is a free stater that's working indirectly on AI alignment.
Mm-hmm.
But Eric Voorhees runs Venice.ai, and that's the model I use to create my trailer for Legends of the Free State.
And I did watch it, and it looks really interesting. When does the first episode come out?
I would guess a first episode would be around 9 months from now. The technology is not currently good enough to produce what's in my head.
Mm-hmm. Well,
and actually, what I'll do is I'll release the first minutes of episode 3. I think will be produced in about 9 months, and then the full episode it would probably take another 6 months after that. That's my projection for how long it will take. Right now, it's an insane amount of work just to produce one good image.
Interesting.
I think that there's just too many people that want AI for bad purposes, like spying on the citizens and data collection and all of that stuff, that I don't know if it can be stopped at this point. I have little faith that using any models is going to affect anything, because there's so much money behind the models that, they, them, those want.
I saw Reese Witherspoon and Sandra Bullock today come out with almost identical quotes where they were like, women need to especially get with the program and learn AI because your jobs are going to be deleted. Your jobs are going to be taken out by AI. So women, you need to learn AI.
There's a restaurant in China that's using AI to cook the food.
Really?
Stu is very excited.
What does that even mean?
I don't know. I guess they just have like AI machines that they just take the order and then fill the order and make it. Like does their own thinking on making the order.
I think it was before AI that there was those articles coming out about like the first fully automated McDonald's, or was that AI powered too?
I don't know.
And
I don't know if it was AI powered, but I definitely heard of robots doing McDonald's jobs.
Like there's a difference between like assembly line robots too and like AI where it can just do all of it.
Yeah.
Well, even if I can't influence the outcome, each of us is responsible for the part that we play. And if we assume that life goes on after this life, which it very well may, we're going to want to be able to explain to our creator that we weren't part of the problem. So that's one of the reasons I do not use some of these models. Is I do not want to be explaining how I assisted in the destruction of humanity.
And to your point, Redley, even worse if we actually reincarnate onto this planet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that could be worse, assuming there's still bodies to reincarnate into. But one thing we can be optimistic about, though, I think this fear of losing jobs and stuff. Yes, there can be a lot of disruption, but there is so much work to be done. It's an infinite amount of work for humanity and the human machine civilization that we live in to do. I mean, there are at least 1 million asteroids to be mined or colonized. There's at least 100 objects the size of Pluto to be colonized, plus the planets, plus the other solar systems if we can get to them. And that's going to take an infinite amount of labor. So there's always something to do. And I just don't worry. I don't worry much about jobs.
I looked up the Chinese restaurant thing, and one of the things it says is pretty crazy. And so I just want to mention it. It says, AI smart restaurants in Hangzhou, fully automated AI-powered restaurants allow customers to get personalized, health-focused dish recommendations based on facial and tongue analysis.
What? That's weird.
That is interesting.
That sounds like pseudoscience.
It does sound like pseudoscience.
Like, based on the look of your tongue, your liver is doing bad.
They're probably like mapping your taste buds.
Oh, yeah.
But still, I don't know that anyone's are so different from anyone else's.
That's odd. I mean, like, you can tell the AI what you like and don't like. You know, like, I could tell by your taste buds you don't like asparagus. Well, I could have told you that without you doing my tongue. Yeah. Anything else for us tonight, Dave?
That is all.
Thank you so much for the call. And you can go to ridleyreport.com to check out the trailer I was talking about. He's making a mini-series about, or maybe not mini-series, but TV series about the Free State and the legendary activism in the Free State. So more Free Talk Live. Continuing, I don't know why I said that. We have this article Lori brought in from reason.com.
Reputable news source.
Which is really disturbing, honestly. I hadn't heard this. This is from a few days ago, too. So I was wondering, is this like something old that I just never heard of? Nope. It's just 3 days old. It says it says ICE is determined to unmask a Reddit user whose only crime seems to be criticizing ICE.
How dare he?
Have you heard of that, Riley?
No.
Yeah, me either. Hadn't heard of this. This is horrible. After withdrawing a summons in the face of a legal challenge, the government is seeking a grand jury subpoena. Oh, I hope they say no.
Yeah.
The Department of Homeland Security is trying to unmask an anonymous Reddit user whose only crime seems to be criticizing the Trump administration's immigration crackdown. Last month, Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, which is part of DHS, withdrew an administrative subpoena demanding information about the Reddit account tired_thumb. After facing a legal challenge in the Northern District of California where Reddit is headquartered. But as The Intercept reported last week, federal prosecutors in Washington, D.C. now seem intent on obtaining information about the ICE critic from Reddit via a grand jury subpoena. It says government critics are not suspects and free speech is not crime, says Will Creeley, legal director of the Foundation for Individual Rights and Expression, or FIRE. That's pretty cool. The First Amendment protects our right to criticize the government anonymously, an American tradition that dates back to the founding. So far, the government hasn't been able to point to a single Reddit post by Tired Thumb that's not protected by the First Amendment. Not one. By putting the administration's feelings above the First Amendment, government agents are sending a deliberate message to each of us. Don't criticize us or else.
That seems to be like a running theme with this administration, more so than any of the other ones that came before it, where, you know, anyone that's in the public eye that says anything bad about Trump is immediately like shot down by the president. Seeing the president go on TV and being like, Candace
I was going to say
Owens
Candace Owens is uglier than the French president's
right.
wife.
Tucker Carlson's a loser.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. Like, what are you doing?
He's being a dork. That's what he's doing.
I feel like the whole shtick has run its course, and it's like people don't even find it funny anymore, and it's not principled anymore. So it's like even like the real hardcore right wingers, I've been hearing them say stuff like, I mean, not that Trump is our guy, of course, anymore, and it's just like, so therefore you've lost your funny license. You know what I mean?
Right.
When you're doing these things, you're criticizing people that the right actually likes, and you're definitely not like gaining fans on the left either. So like, who are you and what is this?
It's crazy to see the president up there calling out people who are criticizing him. Like, don't you have better things to do?
Yeah.
Don't you have a war happening, or not war, an incursion, or whatever he called it?
The Pope. He's
the
like
Pope.
The week on crime Pope. That's so funny.
I like his brother's MAGA.
Oh yeah, I like his brother better. That's so stupid. It's like at this point I'm laughing at him. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like it would be funny if it was 2016 and he was saying things about his opponent Hillary and he was promising to do things that were mostly good, you know. But instead he's not doing that. He's criticizing anybody who says like, yeah, maybe like randomly bombing Iran for Israel is stupid. He's like, you're weak on crime, Mr. Pope. It's ridiculous.
It is ridiculous. It's like he's become an absolute clown.
Yeah.
Like the Pope is going to be like, oh yeah, I'm down with ICE. He's the Pope. He's supposed to be about peace and love.
Yeah. He literally did say like, I think peace is the answer in this. And Trump was like mad at him about that. It made a picture of himself as Jesus. That was pretty ridiculous.
Yeah, I didn't see it, but I heard about that.
I'm not saying like that's ridiculous. He shouldn't be allowed to do that. I don't think it's as big of a deal as the Christians make it online, where they're like freaking out like it was the worst thing he's ever done.
Yeah.
It's like he's done worse things.
He definitely has.
But he made a picture where it's like somebody was dying, I don't remember who, and he's like healing them, and he's dressed like Jesus, like a white robe with red scarf or whatever you want to call it.
That's crazy.
Sorry.
Like, he just seems like he's going more insane.
Mm-hmm.
Like, dementia.
You know what's funny? I just heard the other day that apparently there's some people with a gene where they only have to sleep like 4 hours a night, and he only sleeps 4 hours a night, apparently, like famously. But the trade-off for not having to sleep as much or not being able to or whatever is they usually get dementia.
Yeah, you need sleep. That's how your brain like repairs itself and
Cleans
grows.
itself.
Yeah.
Yep. So that's possible. It's very possible that that's what's going on. It says, back to the recent article, it says on March 6th, Reddit notified the user associated with Tired Thumb, identified as J. Doe in court documents, that it had received a legal request for information about the account, including Doe's name, address, phone number, length of service, and IP addresses. Doe, who lives in Oregon, what? So we know that? I don't think we should know that. I'm worried about this guy.
For real, he's going to get disappeared.
Yeah. Who lives in Oregon, sought help from the Civil Liberties Defense Center, which is based in Eugene, Oregon, in challenging what an ICE agent described as a summons issued under 19 U.S.C. 1509, which deals with customs enforcement. As CLDC attorney Matthew Kellebrew noted in a March 12th motion to quash the summons, that supposed authority is inapplicable in this case. He says the statute stops far short of conferring generalized authority to obtain records of any kind beyond the scope of those related to merchandise duties, taxes, or fees. Here, there is no plausible nexus between the documents sought and those permissible by statute. J. Doe is a U.S. citizen who has not traveled outside the country, is not engaged in any international commerce, has no business concerns outside the United States, and primarily uses their Reddit account to engage in political speech relevant to their local community. This is crazy. It's weird that it's just like this one specific guy. I wonder if they're doing this like all over and we're just not hearing about it.
I heard that there was something like 55,000 individuals who were being watched by the FBI, was it last year? Like just citizens?
Yeah, I've heard of people finding out from court documents that they had like that the FBI had pictures of them like going. I don't know.
Wait, I think it was like 50. No, it was more than 55,000. It was like 550,000 or something like that. I'll have to look it up so I don't give the wrong number. But it was like a lot of people.
Some
were
people
being
just get watched and like they don't ever end up in court. So it's like, well, how was that ever illegal? Honestly. It's kind of creepy to think that before the FBI raided our house, they were like watching me and Ian on our front porch through a camera, like talking about what we were doing. So weird.
And they watch people not for even doing anything, like just because, like this.
And they already
just
knew
for
my
saying
name and
the
stuff.
wrong thing.
The surveillance state has definitely increased in power since 9/11, and it's going to increase in power with AI until people are like, we're fed up, we don't want to do this anymore. But, the average person isn't going to do that because when their favorite team gets in power, they're going to be like, oh, we got to go chase down our enemies.
Well, now they got the flock cameras that are watching everybody all the time. And what's that, Palantir?
Yep.
Like the cops have that in their cars. They have Palantir-powered little devices so that when they drive past you, now they know who you are. They know, where you live. They know how much money you have in the bank. They know the last time you declared cash, like everything about you.
Creepy.
Yeah.
I know that
you want to say there's no like profiling now. Everything's just profiling now.
That's a good point. I know that it's like every state has things where you could see how many flock cameras there are. New Hampshire has fewer, but I think we should have 0.
Yeah, 0.
And there are people that have websites dedicated to this. I know that DFlock is one. I don't know the actual website. I'm going to look it up so we can say DFlock. It's dflock.org. So like flock cameras, but DE in front of it. And maybe I should like put more effort into looking into it. I just know it's bad. It's almost like the AI thing. It's almost like one of those things where it feels like you're just being crushed and like there's no point in trying to fight back against it or whatever.
I think I talked about this on somewhere else, not here, but they also have Flock was partnering for a minute with Ring for a find your pet thing where if you lost your pet, it would just you could tap into your neighbor's cameras and look around, which seems like such a terrible idea and an invasion of privacy.
I agree with you on there.
They got massive blowback and ended up canceling the contract before it started.
Good. Yeah.
Thankfully.
I didn't hear how that ended, but I did hear about the whole thing.
Or so they say. They might just be doing it quietly.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Well, that's what they would probably do because they don't want you to know.
Right.
Somebody I know that works for a tech company, I don't know what tech company, and I wouldn't say anyway, they said that they used to work with Flock, and their company quit all their contracts with Flock, even though they was making the money, because they were just so appalled by how bad Flock's OPSEC is for taking care of people's data that they're collecting. They said it's very, very easy to hack and
passwords,
dangerous.
Just password.
More Free Talk Live coming up. Don't go anywhere. 603-283-6160.
What if you found a $20 bill on the supermarket floor? I'm Holland Cook with Inflation Hacks. You could save at least that much by buying in bulk, but not everything. AARP recommends stocking up on bread, which freezes well. Canned fruits and veggies and salmon and tuna are easy to store and have a long shelf life, as does pasta and peanut butter. And stock up when you spot a great deal on toilet paper, paper towels, tissues, and napkins, and plastic wrap, plastic storage bags, and garbage bags. Worst foods to buy in bulk? Big containers of junk food, which go stale quickly, and cheese, which doesn't freeze well. Because fish has high water content, freezing it too long can result in flavor loss. And olive oil has a limited shelf life. How are you coping? Post your inflation hacks at andyoucanquoteme.com.
From Feature Story News in New York, I'm Mitch McCann with the Week in Review. On Friday, US President Donald Trump signaled the US blockade on Iran will remain in force until Iran agrees to a deal. He's also said that Israel is prohibited from bombing Lebanon. It comes after Iran said that the strait was completely open during the current ceasefire. Nick Harper reports from Washington.
In a flurry of social media posts, Donald Trump said that even though the Strait of Hormuz was completely open and ready for business, the US naval blockade on Iranian ports will remain in effect. That until a deal is achieved with Tehran. The next round of talks are expected to take place in Islamabad in the coming days. He's also said that Iran has agreed to hand over its nuclear dust. And with the Israel-Lebanon ceasefire in effect, he's written on social media that Israel is prohibited from bombing Lebanon any longer. I'm Nick Harper in Washington.
A day earlier, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth said the US is locked and loaded if Iran doesn't accept a deal ahead of another possible round of negotiations between Washington and Tehran. Tony Waterman has more from Washington.
Secretary Hegseth seemed to want to make it clear that the U.S. wasn't resting on its laurels amid this military pause. He said the military is rearming and preparing for renewed combat if a deal can't be reached with Iran.
We're watching you. Our capabilities are not the same, our military and yours. Remember, this is not a fair fight.
Hegseth said the naval blockade of Iranian ports is the, quote, polite way of getting a deal. But there's also the hard way, which he said would be the blockade and bombs dropping on Iranian infrastructure. The White House in recent days has signaled it's inclined towards diplomacy, with the potential for another round of negotiations in Islamabad as soon as this weekend, ahead of the ceasefire expiring early next week.
Aides to the UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer say he's not going to resign over the latest controversy around the appointment of Peter Mandelson as ambassador to Washington. It emerged Mandelson was appointed to that role despite failing security vetting. The government insists no ministers were aware that the Foreign Office overruled that vetting process. The top civil servant in that department, Ollie Robbins, has been sacked over the issue. Chief Secretary to the Prime Minister, Darren Jones, says Keir Starmer is furious.
It's hard to describe, quite frankly. I mean, I've used the word furious, but it's of a bigger scale. Given the nature of the problem here, not just in terms of the appointment, but the position that it has put the Prime Minister and cabinet ministers in as a consequence of the decision to overrule the recommendation from UK security vetting and the fact that the system even allowed for that to happen in the first place. It's of a scale of a problem that we've not experienced in government before.
From Feature Story News in New York, I'm Mitch McCann, and that was the Week in Review.
Got Telegram? You can follow our channel there and discuss show prep with other listeners at telegram.freetalklive.com.
It's Free Talk Live, talk radio that you control. That means that you can call 603-283-6160. That's 603-283-6160. And ForkFest has changed a lot this year, but please pay attention as this info is the newest, most up-to-date information. It could be new to you. June 22nd to the 29th at the Northern Waters Outfitters Campground in Errol, New Hampshire. The owner has offered to host 100 campers at his campground. That's like tenting at night, but you can come in for a day pass for free. So it's being closed just for ForkFest. Anyone else who'd like to stay in the surrounding area may come for a day pass for free. The only real restriction he's given us for this event is no nudism, which I think we can deal with after the crazy restrictions Rogers started imposing. Forkfest.party. That's not Porkfest with a P. It's Forkfest, F-O-R-K Fest.party for more info, and Forkfest2026 at gmail.com to sign up as one of the 100 campers for $10 per night per person. That is a deal on their typical rate too, and it's going to be really fun. I'm getting really excited. All of the best free staters are going. I'm going to try to recruit people that are, we're all three going. You're going, right, Riley?
I'm still trying to figure that out. I'm not 100% sure yet.
I'm going.
And we're going to try to recruit people that aren't in New Hampshire already.
But I definitely want to go.
Yes. Nice. I think that it's going to be fun, and I think Riley should go, and I hope you figure it out. And are you excited? You want to go, so you are like excited for the idea of going.
I'm excited for the idea of going because it'll be fun to hang out with libertarian types. Pork and Fork were fun last year. So it'll be a little different this year, I think, but it'll be fun.
I think it's going to be more fun.
Yeah, I know. I think it might honestly be more fun, and it's like, it's going to be a little more, like, obviously small, but I think that it'll be like all of like the best people because it's like people who aren't there for like stupid clout, like just to go give a speech,
right?
People who, you know. It's like the fair weather libertarians thing about why like libertarians that don't live in New Hampshire because they're like, I live in Florida so that way it could be hot all year round, and it's like, well, that's not really like what we're doing up here. It's not about like being comfortable, you know.
Yeah, I mean, fighting for liberty is not a comfortable experience. We didn't come here to be comfortable.
It's not that Rogers is the most comfortable, but they do have a motel and some hookups and stuff. This is going to be way more like primitive camping, but if you go to forkfest2026 at gmail.com, I mean, forkfest.party, right? That's what it is. You can get all that info. So, yeah, I think it's going to be fun. And in the show, or on the show with you tonight, you've got me, Bonnie,
Lori,
and Riley O'Bill. Before we go on to the article and go on with the show, I do want to promote the 420 rally coming up in Concord on Monday. So we'll be in Concord on Monday. It'll be a little cold, so dress warm.
What time?
4:20.
Oh. So that's what time everyone's going to get there?
Well, that's the time it's starting.
I don't think it's going to be cold, is it, right?
I think it's supposed to be like 44 degrees.
Dang, that sucks. Why is it going to be so cold that day? So Monday, oh wow, yeah, that says the high in Keene's going to be 45. Yeah, I knew like a cold front's coming in. It's 65 today. It's like, if you're listening to this outside of New Hampshire, like there is this like cold front coming. It's not like it's just in the 40s at this time of year all the time.
The average temperature this time of year is like 55 degrees, so
yeah. I expected it to be colder today. I went out to a garden center to go get some plants, and I had a hoodie on, and I got there and I'm like walking around just sweating because it was so hot.
Yeah, it wasn't bad today. It said the high got to 65, but
which
a cold
nice.
front is coming in. It's all like windy, and tomorrow is going to be already like 15 degrees colder, and then 5 degrees colder the next day, but then it's going to go back kind of to normal. But this is spring. Like every spring everywhere is like unpredictable and crazy.
Oh yeah.
The plants need it.
Definitely.
I don't need it. I was so happy like 2 or 3 days ago. It was like so warm. I felt like it was like summer.
It was 80.
Really?
Yeah, it was 80 degrees.
That's
2 days
pretty much
ago.
summer weather here in New Hampshire.
I didn't even I guess I didn't even look at the temperature that day. I was just I went to go take coconut in the backyard and I was like, nice, it's summer.
It was beautiful. Much hotter than that, and then it becomes disgusting here.
Yeah, exactly. It's like in the 80s, it would be nice if it could just stay like that. But honestly, it doesn't get much hotter than that for very long anyway. So it's even when it is and everybody's complaining that's hot, I've refrained from complaining. I'm like, I'd rather be hot than cold. Anyways.
We get a week of that, disgusting hot.
Yeah.
It's not too bad.
So I wanted to continue on in this article from Reason.com that is about just a private citizen, a person posting on Reddit, a Reddit user, whose only crime seems to be criticizing ICE, that the government tried to get a summons and then they withdrew it because it was legally, it was illegal or something. So now they're trying to get a grand jury subpoena on this guy's, for his Twitter posts, all because he criticizes ICE. Or Reddit post, not Twitter. So I wanted to know what exactly is he saying that's bothering ICE so bad. So I just want to move down in this article a little bit to see what those are. It says, evidently, okay, my bad, I looked at the wrong thing. It says the posts included criticism of Jonathan Ross, the ICE agent who fatally shot Minneapolis protester Renee Good on January 7th. According to The Intercept, Doe noted that Ross had lived in Chaska, Minnesota, grew up in Indiana, and served in the Indiana National Guard. Biographical details that were circulating widely at the time. So just because Doe, which is the guy who's posting on Reddit, who's being, basically stalked by the government, just because he posted that public information, that's one of the things that they're trying to use against him. So, he added, hopefully he moves up to Stillwater State Penitentiary. I mean, that's not unprotected speech.
Right.
Hopefully he goes to prison. How many people would be in jail for saying, I hope Trump puts Hillary in jail?
And even saying, what town he's from and whatever, that's also not, they're not doxing someone. You're not, giving out their address.
Yeah.
It's not like he's demanding that someone actually... I mean, it doesn't seem like to me he's demanding that someone kills him or
does anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Says in another post, Doe responded to a Reddit user who sought suggestions of slogans for anti-ICE protest signs. Doe suggested, "Urine speaks louder than words," the title of a song by the folk punk band Wingnut Dishwashers Union. I don't get that one at all. Is it supposed to say he was saying that somebody should put something on a sign that would encourage people to throw urine at them? Maybe.
I don't know.
Even if so, that is not that doesn't look like a direct call for that to me. That looks like somebody suggesting something for a sign that is also lyrics of a song.
Mm-hmm.
Doe also had remarked that TSA sucks and we all know it. Okay. Wow, that's the most tame thing I could possibly imagine.
Right.
I don't even feel like you have to be a libertarian to say that.
I would say that to my kids. That's not even offensive in any way.
It says, according to Doe's lawyers, the Intercept says these were the most aggressive posts that they could find. TSA sucks, and we all know it.
Right.
That's the most aggressive they can find, and they want to summons him to court and sue him?
And I guess I kind of imply that I thought this guy's a libertarian. I really don't. It seems like he's probably just a leftist that lives in Oregon. But my point was more just I don't even feel like you have to hate the government to say TSA sucks and we all know it.
Right.
I feel like you could be a totally normal vote.
Everyone. Anyone who's ever been to the airport.
Yeah. Anybody. Pastor. You could be a pastor and say that on the stage and nobody would be like,
right.
At all.
How
Seriously.
Right.
How dare you say such obscene things about our government?
We all know it.
Yeah.
So, ICE, in other words, not only relied on imaginary legal authority for its summons, it seems intent on investigating someone for constitutionally protected speech. The summons seeks to unmask an anonymous speaker engaging in political speech on the internet. Killebrew noted in his motion. That's the guy that seems to be representing that guy. The U.S. Supreme Court has consistently protected the right of individuals and groups to engage in anonymous political speech. Under the relevant case law, the government must prove a compelling interest in such identification. Because the government has failed to do so, an order compelling the production of identities would grossly infringe on the First Amendment rights of Doe. A couple of weeks after, I wish they would just call him Tired Thumb the whole time, because it's I don't know.
Better.
Now we have two names for him. Yeah, and it's funny. A couple of weeks after Killebrew filed that motion, ICE withdrew the summons. But now the action has moved across the country to Washington, D.C., where Reddit has been summoned to appear before a grand jury. The government has a decided advantage in that forum, since grand jurors will only hear one side of the case. I mean, I know that the saying is that grand juries will indict a ham sandwich, but I feel like it's possible that they might say, like, this is ridiculous to this one.
I completely agree, and I think the whole idea of them indicting a ham sandwich makes it sound like the grand jury is easy. I'm sure that there are cases the grand jury has dismissed.
I mean, if there's no one there to defend the ham sandwich in this case, they can say anything. They can just be he was threats of calls to violence because of that sign slogan thing, and then that's it. You can't say anything back, so now you're indicted.
Yeah, I just think it's like possible in this one, since it's like if those really are the worst posts that they can find, it's possible that somebody on the jury will just be like, nope, this is ridiculous. Plus, it's like ICE isn't very popular right now, so the idea that like everyone wants to protect them isn't necessarily true. I mean, ICE sucks, and we all know it.
We do all know it.
Absolutely, ICE is the worst terrorist organization on U.S. soil and must be eradicated.
The government had a decided... Oh, yeah, sorry, I already read that. Since the beginning of President Donald Trump's second term, The Intercept notes federal agents have increasingly demanded that social media companies reveal the users behind anonymous accounts critical of his immigration crackdown. Although they are especially interested in posts that identify employees of the U.S. Border Patrol or ICE, which is ridiculous. They should be public.
Yeah, they should be public.
Wearing masks, and we should all know who they are. They should have their name on their front of their
They should have their badge numbers, their names, everything.
So it says they're mostly interested in posts that identify employees of the U.S. Border Patrol and ICE or share real-time information on enforcement activity. They also have targeted social media users seemingly doing nothing more than expressing anger at the government. It's gross.
Mm-hmm.
In the latter sort of cases, the Electronic Frontier Foundation, or EFF, has found the government tends to withdraw its demands when they are challenged. That's such a nice sentence. It's like that usually happens with DCYF too, and lots of other things in New Hampshire, sometimes even parking tickets.
Yeah, because they'll just do whatever they can get away with.
Exactly, or whatever is like easy to.
They don't follow the law. Like they'll do things that are totally outside their purview, and then if you let them do it, then they'll just keep doing it.
Yep, I agree. It's great. If you just barely push back sometimes, cops and such are like, well, I guess this isn't going to be easy streets, so never mind.
Mm-hmm.
We should be very, very, very concerned that they've now taken one of these to a grand jury, EFF senior counsel David Green told The Intercept. It's something to be taken very seriously. During the first half of 2025, Reddit reports it received 1,179 requests for account information from law enforcement agencies. I wonder if there's like something that we just don't know that somehow they know via like, what was it called, that works with Flock?
Palantir?
Maybe like they know something about this guy via like Palantir, but they need a legal means to prove it. So they're like going after this guy hard. Like maybe he like organizes something that really pisses them off. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right. And they're just trying to find dirt in any way they can.
So they're just trying to go through a route that looks legal enough to like silence him.
What are you talking
Stop
about?
him.
They never do that.
Of course not. They
don't
want to
watch
do everything by the book and pretend that they're good people.
Yeah, they don't watch people and find them like speeding slightly just so that they can stop them and search them.
Yep. It says, okay, so 1,179 requests. It says the highest volume of information requests that Reddit has received in a single reporting period, that is. 2/3 of the requests came from U.S. agencies, and in those cases, Reddit supplied the information 82% of the time.
Oh.
Reddit carefully reviews each request for compliance with applicable laws, the platform says. If we determine that a request is not legally valid, missing legal requirements, seeking information outside the scope of the issued legal process, Reddit will challenge or reject it. Well, maybe 82 isn't that bad. Maybe some other ones are like 99%, you know what I mean? Like I've always heard that Gmail just hands over everything to the point that like they've handed over information to non-government entities who just like had a fake email, you know what I mean? Like they got scammed into getting information.
Like I could just email Gmail or Google and be like, hey, can I have all the information you have on Bonnie Freeman?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm a cop. And they'd be like, here you go.
With like the right header in your email and stuff like that. Apparently that's
Signed
definitely
a
happened.
cop.
Yeah.
Just write that on there.
They'll want to know which police agency you work for. Tell me work for
The cop one.
The cop one.
The cop agency.
Yep.
It says, that is a thing. So I really wonder if this is like kind of like not that bad, even though 82% sounds like a lot. You know what I mean? It might be that they actually are pushing back more. I don't know. It says that they actually review them. It says Reddit will challenge or reject it if it doesn't meet their standards. If we consider the request to be overboard or unclear, we will ask the requesting entity to modify or refine the request. Reddit says it attempts to notify our users when their account data is subject to legal information requests before any disclosures are made, unless we are legally prohibited from doing so, or under certain other counterproductive circumstances like exigent emergency situations, child safety matters. Okay. But if users cannot afford an attorney or find one who will work pro bono, bono? That was my bad. I said it a little weird, but I don't think I said it the way that I was afraid I did. I don't know. They are unlikely to they're unlikely to successfully challenge such requests. Are you still laughing at me, Riley?
It was funny.
Yeah, it was. If they are unable to find a lawyer who will work pro bono, they are unlikely to successfully challenge such requests. In Doe's case, according to Kellebrew's motion, Reddit said it intended to comply unless Doe provided Reddit with a motion to quash. I've never heard of that. If that's an actual term, a motion to quash, but it is categorically false that the DHS is targeting Doe based on speech protected by the First Amendment, a department spokesperson told military.com this week. Our law enforcement officers are on the front lines, arresting terrorists, gang members, murderers, pedophiles, and rapists. But the thing about it is, like, everything I've heard from, like, right-wing media is that they're not really doing any more arresting than normal. You see what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, that they're not arresting more than as much as they were supposed to be. I haven't heard an article recently about a terrorist or gang member that got arrested. You know what I mean?
I hear those sometimes.
Maybe sometimes they do, and they make it big news. But let's be honest, it's actually not happening to arrests and gang members and things like that all the time. They're essentially deporting or trying to deport people that were supposedly here, quote unquote, illegally.
It's like, have you ever seen you don't have Facebook, but sometimes on Facebook, like, police departments will put like their bust of the week.
Yeah.
And they'll have like three $20 bills.
And like a pipe.
And like a pipe.
Yeah.
Spread on the table. Right.
Yeah. They always have to make it seem like they're doing something with their job. We have a caller on the line, so I'm going to go to the call. Turd Ferguson in Pennsylvania, you're on Free Talk Live. What's on your mind? Katy Perry is innocent?
Well, yeah, but just to be clear, I'm hired pro bono to do all kinds of things these days.
I didn't say it that bad. Okay, let's not do that much because I don't know if we can say it on the radio.
You should say boner on the radio.
You can.
Why not?
You can? Okay. Right. I trust Riley.
Well, Katy Perry is 100% innocent.
I knew that's what he was going to talk about. I agree.
What did Katy Perry supposedly do?
Yeah, that's what I want to know.
This complete liar. Go ahead, Turd.
Yeah, Ruby
Like
Rose is just a dumb, stupid dyke, and she sucked in Resident Evil: The Final Chapter. She had the most forgettable character in that entire film. The only reason that they got her in the first place was because it was when wokeness like just started in 2017, and they just needed a little wannabe man dyke to play some dumb chick in the movie.
See, that's not what I have a problem with her about. It's just that she's been known to lie about people raping her over and over and over again. And recently she just randomly came out and said that Katy Perry sexually assaulted her, and then it started deleting the things. And because so much evidence to the contrary was coming out, like that, like here's pictures of Ruby Rose with Katy Perry, like weeks and days and months and years afterwards, just like hugging, and captions saying like, I love this woman more than anyone else in the world. And also said that when it happened, they projectile vomited all over Katy Perry because I don't want to even say all that stuff, it was like really gross what they said.
I think that's absolutely ridiculous. And if Katy Perry rubbed her all over my face, I would love it.
Of course, but you would.
I wouldn't have thrown up. But by the way, I think that she didn't even throw up at all. I think she's making that up. I think.
Yeah. I brought that up to say that the night that they left the venue that Ruby Rose said it happened at, Katy Perry has no throw up on her, and she specifically said all over her like legs and shoes or something like that. Yeah. There's all kinds of evidence, and this woman had to start deleting it. And Katy Perry, I think, is actually taking like legal action. So
good.
Yeah, I know.
Good. I'm in love with Katy Perry still. I still think she's sexy, even though she's in her 40s now, but she's got the body of a 21-year-old. And the only thing I miss about her are her milky boobs. But that's okay because she lost a lot of weight. She looks good then.
Yeah, I think she does look good thin too. And also she doesn't look like super old, but she doesn't look like she did a bunch of work on her face. That's what I love about it. It's like if she looked like she had like tons of stuff done, and it's like, oh, she doesn't look old. Well, honestly, it's like people just getting older and like trying to reverse it sometimes looks worse than just like she has like smile lines. Oh well, she's beautiful. She's like so incredibly beautiful.
She is. She's so beautiful. And I was gonna say, I don't know if she had any she probably has had some, but she still looks really young and just pretty, and it doesn't. Her plastic surgery doesn't look disgusting like it does on many girls. You know what I mean? Like she just looks like natural and young and beautiful. And I just love Katy Perry, and I'm so bummed that dumb little stupid dyke with the side part in Resident Evil: The Final Chapter like even got to get in a word in on this because she just doesn't deserve it. And she wants to be a man, and she's upset that she doesn't have a penis like me, and that makes her really mad because what she wants to do is basically be a man, and she wants Katy Perry to do stuff like that, and she's mad because it didn't happen.
Probably right, honestly. I have to agree. I'm not saying that about all lesbians or anything, but with Ruby Rose, 110%.
Yeah, but right. It's definitely true about her. And on a side note, Addison Rae's new album is coming out, I think, in like 2 months. At least those are the whispers online, and I'm really stoked.
Me too.
She's going to be probably one of the great. I would put her. She's probably going to be up there with Katy Perry as far as like the greatest pop stars of all time.
I agree.
But right now, my favorite Addison Rae song is probably "I've Got It Bad." I think, but that came out a few years ago.
Yeah, I love that song too. I just think that the ones on the newer album are better. But that is such a good song too. And I heard her perform that live, and her whole album, the new one. I saw her in Boston. Did you know that?
I think you told me that you did. Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty jealous, but I really like that song. You know what other song I like is the radio song.
Nothing on but the radio. Did you know it's a Lady Gaga song? I think people are bored of this right now, but it's originally a Lady Gaga unreleased song that I've known since I was like in 7th grade, but it wasn't like completed. I think I don't remember if it was completed, but it kind of sounded like an incomplete song. And Addison Rae was able to get it and be able to like re-record it and put it out. And I think it's crazy. That's so awesome. I wish they would do that with all unreleased Gaga and all unreleased Lana Del Rey too.
Yeah, well, that's pretty crazy. It sounds pretty freaking good to me, though.
It should all be Addison Rae redoing them too.
Yeah, well, I'm glad she got her hands on it because she probably did an even better job than Gaga, even though Gaga is amazing, of course. But I just love Addison Rae, and I think that's all I got. But I just hate that bull dyke. I'm really upset that she dragged Katy Perry, beautiful Katy Perry's reputation through the mud. It just makes me want to strangle that little dyke.
Yeah, I know. I hate it too. It seriously really pissed me off. It was gross. It was like what she said was disgusting, and you could just tell it was fake from the way that she said it. And then it's not even believable. And then on top of that, she has all these prior false allegations too. And
that's the part.
I hate that person. Okay, more Free Talk Live coming up. We don't have to talk about Addison Rae anymore.
I don't even know who that is.
603 603-283-6160. More Free Talk Live coming up. You can call in with whatever's on your mind clearly. 603-283-6160. It's Free Talk Live. More coming up. Don't go anywhere.
Some of you have wanted to support Free Talk Live's mission on a monthly basis, but don't want to support Patreon. Now we have an alternative that also helps our premier streaming platform, Odyssey. Visit video.freetalklive.com and click Join at the top of the channel. You can subscribe for $5 per month, and unlike other subscription services, Odyssey adds their processing fee on top, so it'll cost a little over $5 per month, but Free Talk Live will receive the entire amount you pledged. Higher donation tiers are available if you're feeling so inspired. You'll get a special membership badge that's visible in the Odyssey chat room, and if we get enough supporters, we may enable members-only chat. This new subscription method is a great way to decentralize our direct listener support away from just Patreon and also support a libertarian-run business, Odyssey. Please visit video.freetalklive.com and click Join to subscribe to our Odyssey channel and help support spreading our message around the planet. Visit video.freetalklive.com and click Join today.
Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you are helping the state. Stop doing it! You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at bitcoin.com. That's bitcoin.com.
What if you want to hear the latest episode of Free Talk Live, but all you have is your phone, you forgot to download our archive, and you have no data connection? You can call our Listen line at 641-793-0191. That's a long-distance number, so you may incur charges. If not, listen as long as you want. 641-793-0191. The Free Talk Live Listen line, 641-793-0191.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 2 is next, after the news, here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Feature Story News in New York, I'm Mitch McCann with the Week in Review. On Friday, US President Donald Trump signaled the US blockade on Iran will remain in force until Iran agrees to a deal. He's also said that Israel is prohibited from bombing Lebanon. It comes after Iran said that the strait was completely open during the current ceasefire. Nick Harper reports from Washington.
In a flurry of social media posts, Donald Trump said that even though the Strait of Hormuz was completely open and ready for business, the US naval blockade on Iranian ports will remain in effect. That until a deal is achieved with Tehran. The next round of talks are expected to take place in Islamabad in the coming days. He's also said that Iran has agreed to hand over its nuclear dust. And with the Israel-Lebanon ceasefire in effect, he's written on social media that Israel is prohibited from bombing Lebanon any longer. I'm Nick Harper in Washington.
A day earlier, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth said the US is locked and loaded if Iran doesn't accept a deal ahead of another possible round of negotiations between Washington and Tehran. Tony Waterman has more from Washington.
Secretary Hegseth seemed to want to make it clear that the U.S. wasn't resting on its laurels amid this military pause. He said the military is rearming and preparing for renewed combat if a deal can't be reached with Iran.
We're watching you. Our capabilities are not the same, our military and yours. Remember, this is not a fair fight. And we know what military assets you are moving and where you are moving them to.
Hegseth said the naval blockade of Iranian ports is the, quote, polite way of getting a deal. But there's also the hard way, which he said would be the blockade and bombs dropping on Iranian infrastructure. The White House in recent days has signaled it's inclined towards diplomacy, with the potential for another round of negotiations in Islamabad as soon as this weekend, ahead of the ceasefire expiring early next week.
Aides to the UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer say he's not going to resign over the latest controversy around the appointment of Peter Mandelson as ambassador to Washington. It emerged Mandelson was appointed to that role despite failing security vetting. The government insists no ministers were aware that the Foreign Office overruled that vetting process. The top civil servant in that department, Ollie Robbins, has been sacked over the issue. Chief Secretary to the Prime Minister, Darren Jones, says Keir Starmer is furious.
It's hard to describe, quite frankly. I mean, I've used the word furious, but it's of a bigger scale. Given the nature of the problem here, not just in terms of the appointment, but the position that it has put the Prime Minister and cabinet ministers in as a consequence of the decision to overrule the recommendation from UK security vetting and the fact that the system even allowed for that to happen in the first place. It's of a scale of a problem that we've not experienced in government before. It is beyond unacceptable.
Hungary's election winner Peter Magyar is raising new allegations against the outgoing government. In a social media post, he claimed officials may be destroying documents tied to past decisions and urged insiders to come forward. The outgoing government, led by Viktor Orban, has yet to respond to these charges. Pablo Gutierrez reports from Budapest.
Peter Magyar claims his team is receiving reports from ministries, state institutions and companies linked to Prime Minister Viktor Orban's governing network about a large-scale document destruction. In his post, he called on the public to share any evidence, including files ordered for disposal, as he seeks to build a record of accountability.
And finally this week, a British media investigation has found that some law firms are helping migrants pretend to be gay in order to stay in the United Kingdom. For thousands of dollars, lawyers are providing false documents to help migrants claim asylum under the pretense of being at risk due to their sexuality if deported. Stuart Smith reports from London.
The BBC investigation found that migrants were told how to gather fake evidence, photographs and medical reports to help deceive the asylum process, knowing that if they were believed, the UK government would not deport them back to their home countries once their current tourist, student or work visa had expired. Pakistanis and Bangladeshis in particular were able to take advantage of this process due to national laws against homosexuality, successfully claiming they would face persecution if sent home. Legal advisors would coach applicants on what to say and help them gather evidence of affiliation to British LGBT groups. The most recent data shows a few thousand Pakistanis applied for asylum due to their sexual orientation, a disproportionate amount compared to other nationalities. The government says the system is robust and abuse is actively uncovered.
From Feature Story News in New York, I'm Mitch McCann, and that was the Week in Review.
According to a groundbreaking study on anxiety disorders published this week in the New England Journal of Medicine, researchers have discovered that feelings of anxiety can be completely resolved as long as people think about them real hard.
After studying subjects with mild to chronic anxiety disorders, we found that the best way to overcome mental stress is to isolate the root of the anxiety, analyze it from every possible angle, and then think about it nonstop until it completely disappears.
Researchers worked with numerous subjects in the middle of high-stress scenarios and said the key to overcoming anxiety is to start by focusing on a minor problem, list everything that can go wrong in the worst-case scenario, and then repeat that list in your head 200 times. After anywhere between 3 to 6 hours of perpetually torturing yourself over things outside of your control, all feelings of anxiety will completely disappear, and you can finally enjoy the remainder of your day.
This is the Onion News Network.
Our Matrix server is about as free as internet chat can be. Join the existing rooms or create your own at chat.freetalklive.com. Free Talk Live.
It's Free Talk Live. Talk radio that you control. That means that you can call 603-283-6160 to get in on the conversation with us. Bring up whatever's on your mind, even if it's vapid, like what's on Turd's mind every single time. And I'd like to thank Leah for being an amplifier with us here at Free Talk Live. That means that Leah went to amps.freetalklive.com and signed up to support the show. AMPS stands for Advertise, Market, Promote, and Support. Thanks to Leah and everyone who supports us. And again, that's amps.freetalklive.com if you'd like to check out the perks and benefits of becoming an amplifier with Free Talk Live. With you on the show on Free Talk Live tonight, you've got me, Bonnie.
Lori. And O'Reilly Bill.
And we're very happy that Lori is back. I haven't really thought about it. It's only the second time you're back.
Mm-hmm.
And
it's nice to have Lori back on the show. She's a fun voice.
It's been a long time.
Yes.
I lived too far and winter was too gross.
It was horrible. This winter was really bad. It's like each instance of snow wasn't like extremely bad, and I feel like there was nastier weather like 2 years ago, but it was like it lasted so long.
And the ice just never went away. Like everything iced over and then just stayed that way. And I feel like the plows here don't do anything. Like you go into any parking lot and it's all just covered in ice.
Yeah.
They don't actually plow, like they're afraid to hurt their plow blades or something. Last year, my dad fell in a parking lot and had a brain bleed because they don't plow right.
I have this theory that like all of the ones, they put the most effort like further north. So that just like there aren't that many people that if that's their job they want to do, they just aren't keen. You know what I mean?
Vermont is like even worse than New Hampshire is with the roads. And the parking lots and stuff.
I thought with Vermont, they'd be more concerned about it since they're so far left and socialist.
No, they throw all their money at like the homeless and the drug addicts.
Yeah, it's like...
So there's no social services for anyone else, just those people.
I'm not going to say any numbers because I'm going to get it wrong because I looked it up forever ago, but it's shocking how like the population of Vermont is a lot smaller than New Hampshire. Maybe not a lot. It's like smaller than New Hampshire though. And the amount of homeless there is way more than the amount of homeless in New Hampshire.
I think it's like the highest like per capita of the country.
That totally checks out.
It's insane.
It's like you'll be driving through somewhere in Vermont that's like a tiny town and there's like some bench in a park next to an old church and you see a homeless person sleeping there at night. It's like, what? Why are they here in the winter?
No idea. Right. That's what I said too. I was like, if I was homeless, there's no way I'd live in the north.
Yeah.
Like I would immediately go south where it's warm. And I had no idea Vermont was like that before I went there. I just had like, I've driven through Vermont a bunch of times and like traveled there for like vacation-y type things. And all in my mind was all like red covered bridges and like beautiful trees. Because I've never really gone to any of the cities.
I think it specifically got worse in the last presidency, Biden. So
probably it was terrible. Like when I first moved there, within a week there was some guy on drugs like fighting with the realtor sign in front of the house.
Oh, ew!
Wow.
Like, and I was like, oh, welcome to the neighborhood. Okay, I guess that's what it's going to be like here.
A friend of the show lives in Hinsdale, which is just over the bridge from that part of Vermont. And you wouldn't think from looking at the neighborhood that she lives in. I was just like, oh, it's so cute that this is like a nice neighborhood where you can like let the kids play in the yard and stuff. She was like, yeah, there is like a homeless guy that creeps me out that walks by every day. I was like, what? This is like a resident, this is like a neighborhood. Like, and it's like a cute New England town. It's so annoying.
Yep.
Probably just walks over the bridge from Vermont. And apparently New Hampshire was doing some kind of thing where they weren't going to let homeless people walk over their bridge. I don't remember.
Yeah, they had like a bridge fight, Brattleboro, and
who won?
I think Vermont ended up taking the bridge.
Oh no!
So
that sucks.
Yeah,
yeah. I was like, I think the New Hampshire stopped that, but maybe not.
They did at one point, and I think they like continued their fight for it. I don't know.
Well, this is kind of interesting to me, and it's like I'm not the most educated on the China thing because it's just like anytime I hear somebody trying to make me be in fear of specifically China, I'm like I start tuning them out because it's just like I think the U.S. government's bad enough. Like, do I have to worry about every single government? Like, I don't really think that China's more of a threat to me than the U.S. for one thing, and it's like. They're always trying to make you feel that way, like with like Red Dawn in the movie.
China could shut down our trade. It'll be disaster, Bonnie. Don't you understand?
Well, it's just like even if they did, even that would be the United States' fault for selling everything to other countries. Like apparently, there's a Chilean billionaire that's going to come mine in Minnesota in areas that have never been allowed to be mined before, and all of the minerals are going to China.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, interesting.
That makes sense.
Yeah, it's just
they buy up like all kinds of farmland out here. Like that should not be what's happening.
That shouldn't be allowed. Yeah. Well, we have a caller on the line, so let's go to the phones. We have Sarah in New Mexico, and you can call 603-283-6160 if there's anything you want to bring up. But Sarah, you're on Free Talk Live. What's on your mind?
Well, I'm just excited that we have 27 speeding cameras now. And they're going to be adding 13 more.
That's so many.
That's really concerning, Sarah. Why are you so excited about that?
She thinks they do something.
I happen to like it. And then
you don't even drive, Sarah. Of course you like it.
Well, I've been advocating for it, and they're going to design better intersections. And they're doing this because they have support from the community. they have that
Wasn't your
big
community
meeting.
tearing them down and vandalizing them?
No, they're not doing it anymore because they put them up so high.
So they were, like I said.
Well, when they first planted them, it was like 5 feet, so they were cutting them down at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and they put them up, and it seems like people want them back. So, because what happens that they voted for a mayor that took all that Darren White, that guy, he says, I'm going to get rid of all the speeding cameras. I'm going to hire cops to do it. He got voted out. So that our mayor, Tim Keller, I'm going to put license plate reader. I'm going to have spot fired. I'm going to have more drones, put more speeding cameras. He got elected by 9 points.
I just feel like it's like you can never really tell. And sorry, your phone sounds kind of bad.
Really bad.
Yeah, it was kind of like I was afraid it was like hurting people's ears or something, so I had to kind of turn you down. But I just feel like you can never tell just by, this person got elected and they were running on this. That doesn't mean that like the people who voted for them specifically were asking them to do that. Like, do you have that in writing from a big group of the community or something? You know what I mean? Because it's like, I voted for Trump specifically for one thing. I didn't ask him to do anything else, even if he was running on it. And it's like, these people could be voting for that person just simply because they vote party line. They could be voting that person because the other person they perceive as worse. It doesn't mean that they were like, he said he's going to put up 13 more speeding cameras, so that's why I'm voting for him. It's just
I feel like most people feel that it's between like a turd sandwich and a turd casserole
It sure feels that way every time we vote. Yeah.
And they just kind of flip a coin to which one they'd prefer.
Which one's the lesser of two evils.
Right.
Yeah. It will be kind of interesting to see if the Libertarian Party puts out somebody just like irresistible for me to vote for next time. Because like I will never vote federal again, most likely. But then again, if it's somebody like, if John McAfee came out and was like, I'm not dead, y'all, and I'm running for LP as president, I think I would vote for him.
Definitely.
It's so hard because like usually the people who run for office and like for large political office are not the kind of people you want to do that thing.
Mm-hmm. Chase Oliver, I wasn't going to vote for him.
It's never people that you're like, wow, that person would be great at running the country. That person's never going to run because they don't want to do that.
Yeah. So it's like very unlikely to happen, but it's just like the idea that I'm just like, you know what would be interesting if they put out someone awesome.
It would be great.
That would be great, but probably won't happen.
I'm always tempted to vote Vermin Supreme. I never do because I've never voted, but
I wonder if he would run again. I have no clue. I don't know much about that guy.
He should run. I want a free pony.
Yeah, I want a free pony.
I
don't know where I'd put it, but like I want one anyway.
Just the other day, somebody asked me like, why does your bumper sticker say brush your teeth? It's the law. And I was like, that's my husband's. And have you ever heard of Vermin Supreme?
He thought Vermin Supreme was funny.
Yeah.
It's funny.
Yeah. Well, so this from the Telegraph says China turns Iran war into its advantage with plans to profit from U.S. disaster. And it's like, it's so funny because there are these people that are like, you anti-American loser not supporting the Iran war. And it's like,
how is America benefiting from the Iranian war? I mean,
it's not. And here's just another thing to point to.
I know.
Another thing to point to, because these same people, they think that China is like our huge enemy too, and like we should keep it that way. Well,
I think that a lot of these people like to do the thing where they just put thoughts into you, what they think that you think, and they think when you say, I am against this war, they think you're like, I want the Americans to lose and all these people to die.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's what they just put on you now.
Mm-hmm.
Like you want Americans to die in a war.
Who's Pinko?
Like a commie?
Yeah, I know that it's a commie, but who is it? So it's not a specific person. Okay.
Yeah.
It just means a person with socialist or communist sympathies. Okay, I didn't know that because I thought it was like a specific person's last name. Because I was just going to say, recently, everybody's been using this term to refer to like anybody who's like anti-war recently. It's so stupid.
It's a little weird to be calling people pinkos just because they oppose your favorite war.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, this war is indefensible. Seriously, like, the only people that would ever want this war to happen typically would be these grifters on Twitter who probably don't have any thoughts of their own coming out of their Twitter accounts, and like hillbillies in 2001.
I don't want any war to happen, ever. I just would like people to stop.
It's like, it'd be one thing if it was just like, there's no other option. Iran is like currently attacking mainline America. But that's not happening.
Well, that's what they're telling people, though. They're like, oh, Iran has
They're weeks away
sleeper
from a
cells.
nuke.
They got the WMDs, you know?
Yeah.
It's just,
They got sleeper cells in America. We got to go after them.
It's the reruns. And like, you have no way to verify one way or the other because you're just listening to two governments give you their side of the story, which you can't trust either of them.
Yeah.
So I have no way of knowing if they had, nuclear capabilities to hurt anyone. But I don't want the people in Iran to suffer. I don't want the people in America to suffer. I don't want the people in China to suffer. I don't want anyone to suffer because of governments swinging their sticks around.
Yeah. I agree. And it's like, you can't make me hate the Iranians because they're pretty cool for the most part. It's like, I don't like Islam at all, but most of them don't. They're actually the most anti-Islam Middle Eastern country. Like minus Israel. But the thing is, Israel sucks for like way more reasons. And it's like, we could leave them alone. And I honestly think they'd be on track to like shedding Islam themselves. And they have been such an amazing country before Islam like took over. And they did so many things that progressed freedom and liberty. And then Islam kept pushing them back thousands of years, like it tends to. But it's not going to get better if they're being bombed and they have to double down in support of their government in order to like survive. Like those big crowds of people at the nuclear plants waving Iranian flags. It's like you might have flipped a whole bunch of people to be pro their government. And it's like Trump's whole thing at the beginning was like he was funding protesters against the government. It's like, you really think that's because Trump was like, these people need to protest their government? No, it's to sow division and cause chaos so that way they can make more destruction happen.
Right. And I don't know how people don't see that because they see it here. They're like, oh, there's outside influence funding these different little cells of people that are trying to radicalize the populace.
Like the Nazi group, whatever, that's all feds.
For some reason, people have it in their heads that the United States federal government is the good guy when their favorite team is in power.
All bad guys.
I agree with you, but no one's gonna see that, Lori. No one's gonna pay attention to the bad guys in power. Because they want to feel like the good guy in the end. They want to feel like the noble savior, saving the Iranian people from their government. But in reality, they're not saving anybody.
There's no single government on Earth that I'm like, oh yeah, I'm a fan of that one.
I agree. They're all terrible.
They're all terrible.
Well, let's look at what China is planning to do to turn the Iran war into its advantage. It says, Xi Jinping is capitalizing on Washington's blunder in Iran to pitch an alternative to the chaos of an American-led world order. So, oh no, it looks like I have to. Oh no, never mind. It's actually letting me read this one article. I was thinking
you get your first taste free.
Yeah, I was thinking I was gonna have to go to archive.org, but no. This is from telegraph.co.uk. Xi Jinping, I'm saying that right, correct?
I think so.
Strode into the
he won't hear it and be offended, so it'll be fine.
Yeah, it probably gets worse, honestly, like mispronunciations. It says, Xi Jinping strode into the Great Hall of the People in Beijing and settled into his chair, flanked by his top advisors at a large mahogany table decorated with purple orchids. Stately in a navy suit, China's leader delivered brief opening remarks just under a minute to welcome Pedro Sanchez, the Spanish Prime Minister, sitting opposite. He said, "The world today is in turmoil and disorder. How a country approaches international law and the international order reflects its worldview, values, and its approach to order and responsibility." So that was Xi, by the way. Assuming the role, or Xi is his last name, right? So you call him, it says Mr. Xi here.
Yeah, I think their names are like backwards like that. Like their last names come first.
Am I saying his first name? It'll be a little weird, but yeah, I think you're right. So that's what Mr. Xi said, assuming the role of a respected world leader. And continuing, China and Spain are both principled countries that value justice and are willing to stand on the right side of history. He continued in a thinly veiled jab at Donald Trump's assault on Iran, which has engulfed the Middle East in war for the past 50 days. He said, "We must oppose a return of the world to the law of the jungle, jointly safeguard genuine multilateralism, and uphold global peace and development. Official readouts also noted how Mr. Xi emphasized that today's turbulent world faces the struggle between right and might. So, I mean, that last part is like something I can agree with. Everything else is kind of just like him trying to like advertise his idea, I think.
Yeah, this seems like a Chinese propaganda article.
Yeah, exactly. And it's from the UK. I don't know whose side they would necessarily be on.
Not ours.
Definitely the UK would be leaning left in a lot of ways. I mean, they're definitely big government types over there.
They've been real anti-America for the past, since Trump got elected. And aligning themselves more with China, so.
Okay. It says it may sound hypocritical for a leader engaged in expanding China's armed forces at breakneck speed to talk in such pious terms. But I mean, it's been like how many years that they've been threatening Thailand and they haven't gone after them yet? I think. Like, unless they're like shelling them and I don't know about it or something.
I don't know.
Yeah. I guess exactly. It's like, I was like, let's read this article so I can be informed because I'm kind of not that informed in it, but I haven't heard about that.
Yeah, but I mean, they all sit there and threaten for a while before they do it, just like America's been threatening Iran, and Iran's been threatening America for 47 years, you know, and then one day somebody does it. So
we have a caller on the line. Let's go to their thoughts. Tom in New Hampshire, right? Is this Tom
from California?
Oh, hey, Tom from California. Sorry, it was not put in. It just said Tom. What is on your mind?
Well, I thought that article was very interesting. I was wondering what China was going to do since they get all their petroleum from Iran. But I think in the big picture, Trump's playing his cards. I'm pretty sure they're going to go back and attack and kill a lot of more people. But I'm thinking if China will get on board and play ball, then Trump will out-Trump everybody. What do you think?
I don't think China's going to get on board with Trump.
It doesn't sound like it just from what he's saying here, but what do you mean by get on board? Like attack Iran with them?
Not attack. Just open up the strait, get the oil flowing again, and keep these people stop attack. In other words, Israel has 7 million people, if I'm not mistaken, and nobody can conquer them. You see, so you can try, and you will end up dead. And they said Israel is the devil. They killed so many people. It's true. They killed just to get to you. They would kill 50 people, and that's a known. Don't go. They kill the reporters in Gaza. They kill everybody that gets in their way because that is superior. I don't know. The white man. I don't know what's going on. What do you think?
I agree with all that you said about Israel, and the people there have like protested for the right of their soldiers to rape inmates, like Gazan inmates and stuff like that. Like, I just think that like the whole country has some kind of like moral decay that's like on a crazy degree, probably from the fact that they believe that they are superior to other people.
I feel like any country that's being run by a religion is probably faulty from the start. Like when you have the Islam running the country, or you have the Jews running the country, or now you're getting America run by the
Zionist Christian types.
The Zionist Christians. Yeah. Like anytime you have religion stepping in trying to run the country, you're going to come to terrible, terrible outcomes because you're going to suppress the people.
Absolutely. But in America, you can walk down the street
for now
any way you want, and it's not controlled by any religion that I know of.
For now. They're trying to change that. Like, there's a lot of Christian Zionist signaling happening in the current government. They're having like
define signaling,
like prayers during their White House speeches and stuff.
Yeah. They had like Girl Defined, these two Christians from TikTok come and do a prayer that was like pro-war. It was really weird. Just things like that, like signaling,
Well, I think in the next 2 weeks we'll change the future of the Middle East, because the Iranians do like a death wish to go against Israel and America, I think, and I wouldn't want to be in that position. And what are they thinking? They already lost all of their leaders.
Israel already lost their leaders? Is that what we said? Oh, or Iran?
No, the Iranians.
Yeah.
7 bombs. They hit 13,000 targets. That's like an airplane going over your house and blowing up 3 of your neighbors' houses. I mean, or a big business, big warehouse. 13,000 targets got hit.
I honestly, it's hard to know exactly what's going on over there for me, because it's like when we were talking about show prep before the show, Riley said, "Oh, did you hear the Strait got open?" And I was like, "Didn't America open it?" But Riley said, "No, Iran opened it." And I'm like, "Well, they're all opening and closing it, and like it's just
it's like
changing
the
so fast."
revolving door.
And it's like there's propaganda from both sides, like Iran's Lego videos, stuff like that.
Right, and
thank you for the call, Tom.
And there's like AI videos being put out and stuff that you can't trust anything anymore.
Yeah. Like even in the beginning of the Ukraine war, there was a AI video that tricked lots of people. Or it wasn't even AI. Apparently, it was from a video game. But now we have AI that looks indistinguishable from reality. So it's like there is a lot of. I don't have a lot of incentive to want to sit there and learn about it. Like for the most part, I just am waiting for like the ultimate end of it to see what happens. You know what I mean?
Right, and both sides are just yahahing each other the whole time.
More Free Talk Live coming up. You can call 603-283-6160. We did just get a call, but if you can hold on till the next segment, 603-283-6160 for if you would like to make a call. More Free Talk Live coming up. Don't go anywhere.
This hour of Free Talk Live is brought to you by Dash Digital Cash. Dash is the cryptocurrency designed to be used for spending. Rising fees have made Bitcoin useless for purchases, but Dash continues to have fees less than 1 cent per transaction, and its features ensure Dash is undefeated as the most useful cryptocurrency in the marketplace. From a technical standpoint, Dash transactions are irreversible, and its network is protected from 51% attacks by their Chainlocks technology. There's no need to wait for a confirmation before considering a Dash transaction complete, so it's great for merchants. Dash is one of the oldest cryptocurrencies and is widely available on exchanges, including the decentralized Maya protocol, and in multi-crypto wallets. It's easy to get and use Dash. Start by learning more at dash.org. Big thanks to the Dash DAO for sending us 32 Dash per month to promote Dash on the air. Visit dash.org to learn about Dash. Dash.org.
From Feature Story News in New York, I'm Mitch McCann with the Week in Review. On Friday, US President Donald Trump signaled the US blockade on Iran will remain in force until Iran agrees to a deal. He's also said that Israel is prohibited from bombing Lebanon. It comes after Iran said that the strait was completely open during the current ceasefire. Nick Harper reports from Washington.
In a flurry of social media posts, Donald Trump said that even though the Strait of Hormuz was completely open and ready for business, the US naval blockade on Iranian ports will remain in effect. That until a deal is achieved with Tehran. The next round of talks are expected to take place in Islamabad in the coming days. He's also said that Iran has agreed to hand over its nuclear dust. And with the Israel-Lebanon ceasefire in effect, he's written on social media that Israel is prohibited from bombing Lebanon any longer. I'm Nick Harper in Washington.
A day earlier, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth said the US is locked and loaded if Iran doesn't accept a deal, ahead of another possible round of negotiations between Washington and Tehran. Tony Waterman has more from Washington.
Secretary Hegseth seemed to want to make it clear that the U.S. wasn't resting on its laurels amid this military pause. He said the military is rearming and preparing for renewed combat if a deal can't be reached with Iran.
We're watching you. Our capabilities are not the same, our military and yours. Remember, this is not a fair fight.
Hegseth said the naval blockade of Iranian ports is the, quote, polite way of getting a deal. But there's also the hard way, which he said would be the blockade and bombs dropping on Iranian infrastructure. The White House in recent days has signaled it's inclined towards diplomacy, with the potential for another round of negotiations in Islamabad as soon as this weekend, ahead of the ceasefire expiring early next week.
Aides to the UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer say he's not going to resign over the latest controversy around the appointment of Peter Mandelson as ambassador to Washington. It emerged Mandelson was appointed to that role despite failing security vetting. The government insists no ministers were aware that the Foreign Office overruled that vetting process. The top civil servant in that department, Ollie Robbins, has been sacked over the issue. Chief Secretary to the Prime Minister, Darren Jones, says Keir Starmer is furious.
It's hard to describe, quite frankly. I mean, I've used the word furious, but it's of a bigger scale. Given the nature of the problem here, not just in terms of the appointment, but the position that it has put the Prime Minister and cabinet ministers in as a consequence of the decision to overrule the recommendation from UK security vetting and the fact that the system even allowed for that to happen in the first place. It's of a scale of a problem that we've not experienced in government before.
From Feature Story News in New York, I'm Mitch McCann, and that was the Week in Review.
You can stick it to the man and big tech. Join our FTL social mastodon at social.freetalklive.com.
It's Free Talk Live, talk radio that you control, and that means that you can call 603-283-6160. And Free Talk Live is brought to you by LibertyMinded.com. Official Free Talk Live gear like t-shirts and hoodies are available at LibertyMinded.com. Plus, you'll find unique collections of cool and funny liberty-oriented clothing at LibertyMinded.com. That's LibertyMinded.com. And with you on Free Talk Live tonight, you've got me, Bonnie.
And Lori.
And we already have a caller on the line who waited over last break, so let's get straight to the phones. We have Ralph in Maine on Free Talk Live. What's on your mind?
Well, what's going on with Iran? One thing I'd like to clear up a little history. They keep, all the mainstream media keep saying, for 47 years, that Iran is, ever since they took our people hostage, the students did in Iran. That was in 1979. But they leave out that in 1953, the CIA did a coup, and they overthrew their democratically elected prime minister, Mossadegh. Okay, and then they installed the Shah with his secret police. And then we have the Iran-Iraq War. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but that was from 80 to 88. And that was the CIA run where we backed Iraq against Iran, okay? And it gets so bad. I mean, we're talking about 1 to 2 million people killed. I mean, we don't know the exact number, but there were millions. And Donald Rumsfeld, our government sold Saddam Hussein chemical weapons like anthrax, bubonic plague, and he used them on his people, and he used them on the Iranians. Now, no wonder they got a little upset with the United States. See, but everybody leaves that out of the equation. They just refer to back, that they're terrorists and they took our people hostage in 1979. Well, there's a lot behind that, not to mention stealing their oil over and over. The British did it. We did it. And, it's unbelievable. But here we are now. We have a president that is a total liar. I mean, everything he says out of his mouth is a lie. Just like Friday, oil dropped like $10, even more. I don't know the exact amount, but it was more than $10 a barrel. It's way low. Yeah, well, somebody made $1 billion on that trade, and even Iran is talking about it. Another profit was $760 million, because they can trace these trades that go against what is going on, and somebody's getting the information right before Trump says is lie. Well, his latest lie is that, he's got all these deals with the Iranians. Everything is solved. Now the Iranians, I watched this, all these ships, the tankers and stuff, they have transponders. So there are sites you can go to and see all these ships moving around the world. Well, all of a sudden, when Trump says that the strait is open, right? These ships start going out. Well, next comes from the other direction, the Iranian Navy, and they even fired on some ships. And I've listened to radio broadcasts, on some of the sites that I go to that are telling the ships to turn around, and all of them turn back. And now they're saying the strait is completely closed. Remember, all these oil prices went down because Trump was saying everything is solved, the strait is open. Well, it's not open. And the Iranians are ready because every time we've got into negotiations with them, we'll be back in a couple of days, and then we go and bomb them.
Yeah, or Israel bombing Lebanon in the middle of peace negotiation, or after peace was already negotiated, stuff like that. But the thing about it is just you say they're saying the strait is open, but it's not. How do you know it's not? How do you?
Iran is saying it's not.
Okay, because Iran is saying it's not. I'm just that's why I'm saying that.
Turn back.
I'm kind of feeling what's the point of listening to any news about this? Because you don't even know if it's true. It's you're saying, oh, it's not open, and then the news is saying it is. So I guess you're saying because you can look at online where ships are, which I know you're talking about, because you can look up the names of a specific ship and see where it is, right? In real time, stuff like that. So you're saying that they're going they're going to go through the strait and then they're turning back?
They're what? I couldn't hear you.
Oh, they're going towards the Strait of Hormuz and then they're turning back?
Yeah, no, they're in there. There's a lot of ships that are in there waiting to get out. And they started going out, and they were turned back. They said, no, the strait isn't open, and they all turned back. So, see, Trump is completely a liar. I mean, just like Netanyahu, his good buddy. I mean, they did TV commercials when Netanyahu ran for his position and Trump ran for his presidency the first time. They were doing back and forth commercials for each other. I don't know if you knew that Netanyahu is such a close friend with Jared Kushner's family that when he used to come to the United States, he'd sleep in Jared Kushner's bed. They'd throw Jared out on the couch, and yeah, I mean,
that's crazy.
They're all close friends.
Yeah, I never heard that they were all friends, or that he was friends with them at all. I know that Jared Kushner is a Jew, but I didn't know that. That's crazy.
Yeah, and you mentioned earlier in your broadcast about the Christian Zionists, which even outnumber the Jewish Zionists. I mean, both groups want the world to be destroyed, so each of these groups have their Messiah coming to put them in control of the whole world. And the Jewish Zionists are big time. They had a cult that a lot of them still, I'd say they still practice it, the Sabbatean Frankist, where they said that sin is actually good. So the more bad you do, the better it is for your salvation. Because see, if you destroy everything, if you kill everybody, then the Messiah, or they're
basically accelerationists for their religion.
Yeah,
mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I mean, they were doing disgusting things like that. That's why they got kicked out of a lot of countries, because this cult, man, they had millions of followers back in several hundred years ago.
It doesn't even make
sense. And Rothschild comes from that cult.
That doesn't even make sense, theologically. I don't understand why they would think that. So if you're a terrible person and you bring about the end times and your Messiah comes back, you're not going because you're a bad person. How do they justify this in their mind?
They love sin. You look, do some research and look up Sabbatean Frankist.
I'm going to.
It's inversion religion. What we believe is good, it's just opposite to them.
Ever since I heard about.
Oh,
go ahead.
They were doing such disgusting stuff as like having sex with their own family members. That's why a lot of these like Rothschilds and them, they marry their first cousins. I mean, like, what is with that? Because it's and they call everybody anti-Semitic if you criticize them. Well, they don't even have Semitic blood. They come from Eastern Europe. They all changed their names. Milikowski, that's what Netanyahu's name is, or was, his family name. They all changed their names, all these leaders of Israel. See, it's just a cult that controls them, and the Christian Zionists are right with them, and Trump is, we don't even know if he converted to Judaism or that brand. See, I have friends that in my life that were Jewish and been Jewish, and I've had professors that were Jewish and, even taught me about some of this stuff because, I took some classes in Eastern European history because my mother came from there. And there's a lot of Jewish people that are against, like, Israel is just, it shouldn't be, they're just like dumped on these people and look at the massacres. I mean, Gaza, like, how is that holy? Like, to mass murder women and children by the tens of thousands. They're using phosphorus bombs on them, which just burns people right up, sucks all the oxygen out of the air, and just incinerates them. But anyway, so here we are today. We've got the strait is closed again, and Trump is saying like he even canceled he was doing a signing this morning with Joe Rogan in the White House about psychedelics being used for therapy.
Ian wanted me to bring that up, so go ahead.
Yeah, and the press started asking him about, well, we're hearing other things about from Iran, and no, that's it, it's over, and he threw everybody out. It's like, and here we are sending tens of thousands of more soldiers over there. And, I come from a military family, like.
That's such a good point. That's like a really good point to bring up, because it's like these drugs are being studied for the way that they can help like people who have PTSD from war and stuff like that. And Trump is like, yeah, we need to look into this. And he won't answer questions about Iran. He's just going to make more shell-shocked men, whatever the word is.
Yeah, because they're starting to see that everything he says is a lie. He's saying he has a deal with Iran, and he doesn't. The strait's open, and it's not. It's like they've agreed to give up their he calls it now what is it nuclear dust, or they're not giving up any of that stuff. They've got a nuclear fired power plants, and why would they give that up? But, but anyway, because I was, military family, I grew up in the military, and even like my last 2 years in high school was in Germany in a military base. But, like right now I'm seeing reports that, and pictures even, like from the Army, that they don't even have enough food for them on these ships. They've got like I saw a picture from the USS Tripoli where the tray is half empty. You got a portion of pulled meat and 2 flour tortillas. They no deodorant. So hardly any food. And now the Postal Service, because families started sending food to their and supplies to the GIs that are and the sailors, and the Postal Service has suspended all mail to the whole Middle East.
That's weird. Why would they want that? That's weird. Glad my brother's in the Air Force and they're all pampered and they get whatever they want. To kind of be mean or silly, but thank you for the call, Ralph. We really do appreciate it. And I did want to get into something he brought up here. Oh my God, that was so funny. I watched the video on this. It's definitely something that we should talk about on Free Talk Live. So JD Vance got heckled on stage while he was talking about Gaza policy. And he was just being so ridiculous, too, because he was basically saying, like, what I was saying, how Trump had said, like, the Pope is weak on crime.
Right.
Well, he was, like, basically being like, I agree, even though I'm a Catholic. And people were tearing him apart from the crowd. I could probably play the video even if I had thought ahead, but now it's going to be too late. So This from aa.com.tr, whatever the heck this is. Oh, it's Turkish. I was like, what the heck is .tr? I feel like I've never seen that before. But you're killing children. U.S. Vice President heckled on stage over Gaza policy. So J.D. Vance defends Trump's administration's Gaza policy, blames former Biden administration for catastrophe and besieged Strip. What? I don't remember him blaming Biden, but I'm a little confused about that.
Yeah. How would the Biden administration have anything to do with this?
I don't know, and I don't think that they did anything much different than like what Trump has done. Like Trump apparently orchestrated a peace deal and nothing changed. Right. So a person in the audience shouted, wow, this is not really that great of an article because it doesn't even explain anything. It just says a person in the audience. You know, I don't remember where he was, but it was the thing that, it was TPUSA's event, I'm pretty sure, and Erica Kirk was gonna, I almost said perform there because it's like, she's like, thinks she's a rock star or something.
Yeah.
Erica Kirk was gonna speak there, but she called out and she said it was for her safety because her travel information got leaked or something, but like people believe that it's because it sold not very many tickets.
Oh, I heard that she got like threatened or something.
Yeah, I don't know what's the truth on that. I could be like what I heard could be wrong too. It could just be that she was threatened. I don't know.
Yeah, again, nothing's real, so who knows?
Exactly. So, but at that event, a person in the audience shouted, "You're killing children," at U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance as he was delivering remarks at the University of Georgia on Tuesday, interrupting his speech and highlighting anger over the country's Gaza policy. The disruption occurred as Vance was defending the administration's foreign policy approach under Donald Trump. He says, "I like that the Pope is an advocate for peace." It's like, I like that, but he needs to shut up. You know what I mean? Sorry, that's not his quote. That was just me adding that. So I like that the Pope is an advocate for peace, he said. I think that's certainly one of his roles. On the other hand...
Yeah.
Exactly. Like it's, one of them.
Yep.
The other one is not war. But anyways.
Right.
On the other hand, how can you say that God is never on the side of those who wield the sword? Was God on the side of the Americans who liberated France from the Nazis? I'm not going to answer that. No, I'm just kidding. But the thing about it is, so now I'm not quoting him. He's acting like they're on the right side. He's acting like the U.S. is on the right side of this.
That's okay. So that's another reason why government and religion have nothing. They should not have any intermingling whatsoever, because of course you're going to think that God's on your side because you believe in God and you think you're right. And you think that God believes in you, like, you know?
Yes. He continues, was God on the side of the Americans who liberated Holocaust camps and liberated those innocent people from, those who had survived the Holocaust? Vance said before he got interrupted, and a person said, Jesus doesn't support genocide. And it's just like, yeah, like, you're doing the Holocaust right now.
Right.
Just because it's not Jews.
Just like in countries where they're, Muslims are committing atrocities, they're like, Allah is on our side. Like, it's the same thing. They're all doing the same thing.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So whenever that person said, Jesus doesn't support genocide, he said, I certainly think the answer is yes. And I agree, Jesus Christ does not. I agree. Jesus Christ certainly does not support genocide. It's just so funny. Whoever yelled that out from the dark, and it's like, he's not taking the heckling well. You see what I mean? So that's what's kind of funny about it. It's like really flustered him and he was like totally mad.
Right.
He certainly does not. I think that's pretty easy. I think that's a pretty easy principle. Okay, then if that's so easy, why are you acting like you're not on the side of genocide? It's so stupid. The audience and the thing is, if you don't know what I'm saying, like, Israel is genociding the people of Gaza, and the U.S. is at the very least supplying all their weapons.
Mm-hmm.
So the audience responds with boos, and Vance attempted to continue his remarks, at one point asking the person to allow him to finish before responding. To respond to this guy here, I believe he said the Trump administration supports genocide in Gaza, and here's my response to that. When we came in, the humanitarian situation in Gaza was an absolute catastrophe. And now this is me talking, Bonnie. It's just like, what is it now?
Right.
An absolute catastrophe. He continues, who's the person who got a peace agreement in Gaza? Donald J. Trump. So if you want to complain about what happened in Gaza, to complain about what happened in Gaza, why don't you complain about Joe Biden and the last administration? We're the administration that solved that problem. It's not solved. People are still dying and being poisoned and stuff, like their water supply.
Right, but they'll just say it's solved. So now it's solved because we said so.
And there are tons of people saying that they're being raped by dogs in prison.
Oh my gosh. gosh.
Yeah, Gazans. Maybe I should have bleeped something I said there. Sorry, it's like pretty disgusting. But it is the reality of what people are claiming is happening to them in Israeli prisons.
So the problem is like he goes and says, it's solved, right? We've reached a peace deal.
Mm-hmm.
We wash our hands from this. And then most people aren't going to go look into it. They're just going to be like, oh, it's done.
It's all.
We did it.
Yeah.
But
it's actually
interesting
interesting
we did it.
that this is a TPUSA crowd. You know, it's not like he's like speaking in front of Antifa and.
It's probably people who are not there for TPUSA and like people who came to be
Hecklers.
Opposition.
Yeah.
You know?
So the exchange intensified when the protester again shouted, "You're killing children. Excuse me, sir, right now. You see you see more humanitarian aid coming in the Gaza that it has any time in the past 5 years because we've taken that situation seriously." And I read that how it's said, so maybe he was like kind of flustered there. The U.S. has long been criticized for supporting Israel in its war in the Gaza Strip, where more than 72,000 people, mostly women and children, have been killed since October 7th, 2023. A ceasefire was reached in October 2025, but violations have been frequent. No, it's been solved. Violations have not been frequent. You know? Several American lawmakers have demanded the U.S. government to stop supplying weapons to Israel and being complicit in Israel's war in Gaza. Yeah. It was just really entertaining, the actual video of it, because it's like, first of all, it's entertaining that he's trying to go up there and make a case that God would be on their side. That's just hilarious. And being like, what was God on the side of the Americans who liberated the Holocaust camps? And you're supposed to be like, yeah, you know what? Yeah, you're right. God was on their side, even though they were wielding the sword. It's like, you're literally the Holocaust camp runner right now, not the people liberating someone. It's just ridiculous.
It is.
Working with Israel on two fronts, even. It's just really stupid. And I agree. This is why I wish we had a requirement that all politicians had to be atheists.
That would be nice. Like, a big problem with the religious aspect of it is that, you know, the Jews and the Christians are pals, right? So they're going to run proxy wars for each other, which shouldn't be happening. There should be no proxy wars. You should not be fighting on behalf of another country against another country that has nothing to do with you. Like, none of this has anything to do with us.
I agree. It's just like, at the very least, you're stealing from Americans to kill these people. If you don't care about like people dying, because it's like, I understand you can't care about every single thing in the world. Like, you just can't. It's not like I sit around like worried about the Gazans every day or anything like that. That's not the point I'm trying to make. It's just like, at the very least, you can care that you are being stolen from to kill them and imprison them. And the bombs that are going there. And it's just really ridiculous.
And
same with Iran.
And on top of that, not only are you being stolen from directly, but you're being stolen from in like the devaluation of your dollar.
Yeah.
And, you know, the inflation of the rental and housing market.
Yep.
And all of
gas
these things.
Prices going up.
Gas prices going up. Right. All these things. They're just stealing from you at every opportunity through their war actions and their proxy wars that they're helping other countries and their funding of other countries with weapons. Like, all these little things they're doing are incrementally taking away all the wealth that you possibly could have had.
Yep, I agree. There are basically hidden taxes in inflation and all these things that they have to leverage in order to do their stupid wars.
Like,
most people don't support.
I don't even know what the tax rate is for somebody because I don't have a job. So
me neither. I don't know what the tax rate is for somebody.
Right. So I don't know what the tax rate is, but I know that it's like a substantial part of people's checks because I hear people talk about it. And then like, you're not even factoring in all of the taxes that you're paying on top of that. Like, you're paying a rental tax because your landlord is paying taxes on the property every year. You're paying a tax for your car when you buy it. You're paying a tax for the roads. You're paying
every time you buy gas. Yeah, you're paying tax no matter what. Like, I used to think like I was paying zero taxes, and somebody pointed out at the least you're paying when you pay cell phones, you're paying taxes, and when you get gas, I was like, dang it. Okay, fine, I'm paying those too.
When you get gas, you go out to like the movies or a restaurant, you're paying a tax on that. You know,
Yep.
You go buy clothes, so you're paying tax on that. You go buy clothes and then you donate them to the thrift store and someone else buys them. You're paying tax on those clothes that somebody already paid taxes on.
Well, luckily in New Hampshire, there's not sales tax for the state, but at the same time, but at the same time, it's like I always think about the hidden taxes and everything, because it's like I never really thought about that until I met Chris Wade, and he talks about how even if you're not being directly taxed on something, especially electronics, since that's what he sells, you're likely part of the price is like a passed down tax from what the
business
manufacturer or what, the business.
Yeah, and even like not just New Hampshire, because this is the whole country is doing this. And so like most people are paying sales tax on everything, and you're paying sales tax on a thing that you bought secondhand that somebody already paid sales tax on. Like you go buy a car and you're paying taxes on a used car, and you're paying taxes on that car even though somebody already paid taxes on that car. Like how are they justifying taxing double, triple, quadruple times? How many times is that car going to be sold? Sell that car 10 times, being taxed 10 times.
They're justifying it because people put up with it, like we said
exactly,
earlier.
right.
People put up with this, and that's how we get here. That's why they're able to get away with this stuff. More Free Talk Live coming up, and you can bring up whatever's on your mind. 603-283-6160. That's 603-283-6160. Don't pay taxes and let them do wars with the taxes, or at least stop using their money and use Bitcoin. More Free Talk Live coming up.
Months after identifying the elusive Higgs boson particle, scientists at CERN in Geneva, Switzerland have announced that they've completely run out of things to do with their Large Hadron Collider.
We've tried some time travel stuff, but it doesn't really work. Black holes, but we already know like a ton about those. Last week we threw a bird in there. Honestly, we thought it would take way longer to find the Higgs boson.
Director General of CERN, Rolf Dieter Hauer, told reporters that while they, quote, might be able to figure out some more about quarks or something, for the most part, his team has spent much of the past year throwing pennies into the machine and turning it on to see if the pennies come out smushed.
We might just start building a larger hadron collider. Yeah, maybe a bigger collider for smaller hadrons or something. I don't know.
CERN has announced on their website that if anyone out there has any fun ideas for experiments, you can email them to ideas@largehadroncollider.com.
This is the Onion News Network.
So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com. Tired of cancel culture? Sick of mega tech corporations holding an axe over your head? Join the LRN.FM Matrix chat server. It's self-hosted, so no one else can tell us what to do or say. Don't like the existing channels? You can make your own. You can even connect into some of our channels from other Matrix servers. It's federated. For the full LRN.FM Matrix experience, though, you should join our server via the step-by-step instructions at chat.lrn.fm. chat.lrn.fm.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Feature Story News in New York, I'm Mitch McCann with the Week in Review. On Friday, US President Donald Trump signaled the US blockade on Iran will remain in force until Iran agrees to a deal. He's also said that Israel is prohibited from bombing Lebanon. It comes after Iran said that the strait was completely open during the current ceasefire. Nick Harper reports from Washington.
In a flurry of social media posts, Donald Trump said that even though the Strait of Hormuz was completely open and ready for business, the US naval blockade on Iranian ports will remain in effect. That until a deal is achieved with Tehran. The next round of talks are expected to take place in Islamabad in the coming days. He's also said that Iran has agreed to hand over its nuclear dust. And with the Israel-Lebanon ceasefire in effect, he's written on social media that Israel is prohibited from bombing Lebanon any longer. I'm Nick Harper in Washington.
A day earlier, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth said the US is locked and loaded if Iran doesn't accept a deal ahead of another possible round of negotiations between Washington and Tehran. Tony Waterman has more from Washington.
Secretary Hegseth seemed to want to make it clear that the U.S. wasn't resting on its laurels amid this military pause. He said the military is rearming and preparing for renewed combat if a deal can't be reached with Iran.
We're watching you. Our capabilities are not the same, our military and yours. Remember, this is not a fair fight. And we know what military assets you are moving and where you are moving them to.
Hegseth said the naval blockade of Iranian ports is the, quote, polite way of getting a deal. But there's also the hard way, which he said would be the blockade and bombs dropping on Iranian infrastructure. The White House in recent days has signaled it's inclined towards diplomacy, with the potential for another round of negotiations in Islamabad as soon as this weekend, ahead of the ceasefire expiring early next week.
Aides to the UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer say he's not going to resign over the latest controversy around the appointment of Peter Mandelson as ambassador to Washington. It emerged Mandelson was appointed to that role despite failing security vetting. The government insists no ministers were aware that the Foreign Office overruled that vetting process. The top civil servant in that department, Ollie Robbins, has been sacked over the issue. Chief Secretary to the Prime Minister, Darren Jones, says Keir Starmer is furious.
It's hard to describe, quite frankly. I mean, I've used the word furious, but it's of a bigger scale. Given the nature of the problem here, not just in terms of the appointment, but the position that it has put the Prime Minister and cabinet ministers in as a consequence of the decision to overrule the recommendation from UK security vetting and the fact that the system even allowed for that to happen in the first place. It's of a scale of a problem that we've not experienced in government before. It is beyond unacceptable.
Hungary's election winner Peter Magyar is raising new allegations against the outgoing government. In a social media post, he claimed officials may be destroying documents tied to past decisions and urged insiders to come forward. The outgoing government, led by Viktor Orban, has yet to respond to these charges. Pablo Gutierrez reports from Budapest.
Peter Magyar claims his team is receiving reports from ministries, state institutions, and companies linked to Prime Minister Viktor Orban's governing network about a large-scale document destruction. In his post, he called on the public to share any evidence, including files ordered for disposal, as he seeks to build a record of accountability.
And finally this week, a British media investigation has found that some law firms are helping migrants pretend to be gay in order to stay in the United Kingdom. For thousands of dollars, lawyers are providing false documents to help migrants claim asylum under the pretense of being at risk due to their sexuality if deported. Stuart Smith reports from London.
The BBC investigation found that migrants were told how to gather fake evidence, photographs and medical reports to help deceive the asylum process, knowing that if they were believed, the UK government would not deport them back to their home countries once their current tourist, student or work visa had expired. Pakistanis and Bangladeshis in particular were able to take advantage of this process due to national laws against homosexuality, successfully claiming they would face persecution if sent home. Legal advisors would coach applicants on what to say and help them gather evidence of affiliation to British LGBT groups. The most recent data shows a few thousand Pakistanis applied for asylum due to their sexual orientation, a disproportionate amount compared to other nationalities. The government says the system is robust and abuse is actively uncovered.
From Feature Story News in New York, I'm Mitch McCann, and that was the Week in Review.
I always dreamed of providing the nation with concise recaps of the week's events. One fateful summer in 1934, legendary onion mogul T. Herman Zwiebel was passing through our town to acquire an oil derrick when he overheard me calling in the oxen in my breathy baritone and offered me the opportunity of a lifetime. Yes, from the turbulent war times of the 1940s.
The Onion welcomes the majestic Axis armies as conquering heroes.
To the free-spirited 60s.
And remember, there's nothing more cosmic than keeping your house insulated with Thermoflake brand asbestos.
I can truly say I've been here for the turning of the ages. But now, viewers, my beautiful 19-year-old wife and I will take our much-deserved retirement to my Genevan chateau. I wish all of my detractors empty, destitute lives. And for my allies, I hope for all the pleasures availed by heaven. So, finally, let me say one last time, for more, keep checking theonion.com.
This is the Onion News Network.
Don't miss a moment of Free Talk Live. Get our archives daily via our podcast at feeds.freetalklive.com. Free Talk Live.
It's Free Talk Live, talk radio that you control. That means that you can call into the show 603-283-6160. That's 603-283-6160 to bring up whatever is on your mind. And you really can bring up whatever's on your mind. With you on Free Talk Live tonight, you've got me, Bonnie.
And Lori.
And if you're tired of the oppressive rules and moderation of the big tech social media sites, our Mastodon server at social.freetalklive.com can set you free. Mastodon is free, open source, decentralized, and federated. Multiple apps are available for iOS, Android, Windows, Mac, Linux, and Linux, social.freetalklive.com. And, not Lady Gaga, actually, Madonna came out with a song today called I Feel Free, and I'm so excited to listen to it. I only heard like a snippet so far, but that's why I started smiling while I'm reading it. I was just like,
I didn't know she was still making music.
Yeah, she actually performed with Sabrina Carpenter last night.
I loved her so much when I was a kid. Yeah. Like we had to do in third grade, we had to do like a school report on someone famous, and you had to dress up like them, and I did mine on Madonna and like dressed up like Madonna and everything.
Wow. One time I wanted to be Madonna for Halloween, so I was like wearing red lipstick. I must have seen like one picture of her or something with red lipstick and like a beauty mark. I think she was even trying to look like Marilyn Monroe in it. And my mom was like, you can't be Madonna for Halloween. And I was like, why? And she said that that's like too adult. And I was like, that sucks. But anyways. That's so fun. That's really cool. She's 67. That's what I was looking up. So she's still performing, and she even like did a really low dip and stood back up. She seems like in shape, but she's always had like muscles.
Yeah, she's always been like really muscular.
Yeah. Anyways, I just wanted
when you're like filthy rich, you can probably work out like all the time.
Yeah.
So.
And I think she's dialed back some of the weirdness she did to her face where she looked like an alien, so that's good. She looks a little more normal now, not 100%. But anyways,
none of them
happy.
do.
Yeah.
Like if you're in Hollywood for long enough, you just end up looking like some kind of freak.
Yeah, it sucks because some people go in so beautiful, but they start to change a little thing here and there, and then all of a sudden they look weird in several years. And it's like, I imagine that it's like really messes with your brain to like see your face on like a screen and like have people like criticizing it to you or something. Maybe that's why they do it. If it's not that, then maybe they're all Sabatine weirdos, like Ralph always says.
I think they're all just vain and like seeing themselves young so much in like movies and media and stuff like that, and then watching themselves age and they can't handle it.
Yeah.
Which is ridiculous because aging is great. Like that is it's a privilege to get older.
I'm gonna be 30 this year and I'm scared.
Of what?
Being 30.
Oh no, Bonnie, you turned old.
Yeah, exactly.
We're gonna wake up
old this year.
The day after you turn 30, you're gonna wake up, you're gonna have fully gray hair and like wrinkles everywhere.
My hair unfortunately started turning gray when I was 18, so that's been a thing.
I'm gonna get you a cane for your birthday.
Actually, when I turned 26, it was like really shocking. I was like, this is weird. I'm like solidly in late 20s and it happened too fast. Like it doesn't make any sense. But honestly, like since it's been 4 years since that, being 30 doesn't seem that crazy, to be honest.
I felt like the healthiest in my 30s. Because you're like solidly out of the weird hormone fluctuations of your 20s and you're not yet old.
Nice.
So the 30s were great.
Nice. I think it'll be great too. I remember I had one friend that was like so excited to turn 30 because she's like, because everybody will finally leave me alone. And I always think about that. I'm like, will that happen?
No. No.
Well, anyways, this is really weird news from activistpost.com, which is a great news source that we were reading the article, me, Mark, and Penguin were reading the article last Sunday. From Activist Post, they wrote an article about Ian and saying, like, basically, Epstein's clients are walking free and Ian Freeman is still in prison. So that was really cool. Shout out to activistpost.com. This article, a startup has been quietly pitching cloned human bodies to transfer your brain into.
Gross.
And it sounds just like sci-fi. Like, even the first call of the night, Dave Ridley was like, I was like, maybe... what was I going to say? I was like, maybe reincarnation is real, and then we really need to make sure we're on the right side of AI and make sure it doesn't do anything evil because we might come back to this planet. And he said, yeah, if there are any bodies left to reincarnate into. And I was like, oh, that's creepy. But at the same time, I bet the robots will be making these weird human body parts to put your brain into.
When I was a kid, I read this book in like 5th or 6th grade, and it was called The Experiment. And it was about these kids who find out they live on like this island where everything's like strictly structured, like their meals and everything, and they're not allowed to like do anything dangerous. And they find out that they're clones for like other people. And so they're not allowed to like injure themselves in any way or like eat bad for you food and stuff. And they break into like the lab part of everything. And there's like all these like progeria kids and stuff. Like, it was a really creepy book, and it has forever scarred me against cloning anything to do with humans. Like, it's just gross to me. I find it to be wildly unethical, and it shouldn't happen.
Yeah, I agree. I don't like cloning at all. I kind of am okay with like Malay. Some people really criticize Malay, like it's the worst thing he's done, that he cloned his favorite dog. And I was just like, what's so big of a deal about that? It's not like anybody is like under the assumption that that dog's brain was put into the other dogs.
Right. That's the thing. You're not like harvesting the cloned dog for its organs. Like, if you take your dog's DNA and you clone a dog out of it, that's fine. But like, if you are growing a second dog so that when your dog like has liver failure, you kill the other dog and like steal its liver or whatever to give to your dog, no, that's not okay anymore.
Yeah, that's horrible.
And that's what the book was about, like harvesting these clones for their organs to give to other people.
Yeah, the movie Us is really creepy about clones too. It's like everybody has what they call a tether that lives underground, and those clones all come out and they try to take the people in the real world's places by killing them. And yeah, that's a creepy movie too.
That sounds good. I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah, it's actually a pretty good scary movie. It's by the same people who made Get Out.
I haven't seen that either.
Not Key and Peele, just one of them. I can't remember which one right now. Oh, Jordan Peele, that one. So anyways, a startup has been quietly pitching cloned human bodies to transfer your brain into. It's as outrageous as it sounds, they say. Since the mid-1990s, scientists have been obsessed with cloning animals. Dolly the sheep famously became the first mammal to be cloned from a cell taken from an adult mammary gland almost 30 years ago in 1996. Transitioning from cloning animal embryos to human ones has proven far more controversial, and not only because of the litany of risks involved. So far, scientists have only gone as far as to generate human embryo models, grown stem cells, and clone primates from fetal cells rather than adult cells like Dolly. That hasn't stopped some from exploring the idea as part of a secretive effort to realize, they're cloning things secretively. So that hasn't stopped some from exploring the idea as part of a secretive effort to realize an alternative to anti-aging tech. Wow, full circle to the ridiculousness of this. That sounds like it was ripped straight out of a dystopian science fiction novel. One thing about aging and everything is I feel like them and those really did push the fear of aging onto mostly women too, because it just feels like I've never even heard any of my 3 grandmas say anything about the fact that they aged. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, it's the fear of aging is so weird to me. Like, I'm happy that I've made it this many years on the earth without dying. Like, and when I look and I see like lines next to my eyes when I smile, like, oh, all those times that I smiled gave me those lines. You know, it's not some horrible thing to look like you've lived a life instead of like some fetus.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to look like a fetus. No, they just look like alien people.
Yeah.
It's like the giant lips thing is creeping me out. Like, that's the current trend that I see a lot, is like the blow up doll, over sexualized plastic surgery. And I don't even know why that's considered attractive. Like, you look weird and not like is that attractive to look like a caricature, like a blow up doll person?
I don't understand it, and it's like I've never seen a person that I thought looked better with their lip injections than without them. And there's also like a trend of people dissolving them. It looks extremely painful because your lips like swell up double or triple the size that they were even when they were like already too full.
Yeah.
And then it goes down after that. But
and they say that it migrates and like you end up with like lumps.
You
Like,
can also-
I don't want to kiss somebody with lumps in their lips. That sounds disgusting.
yeah, and it's just like it looks bad too. But on top of that, it can migrate all the way to like your lungs and kill you.
Yeah. Oh yeah. All for like slightly fuller lips. Just wear some lip gloss.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. And the thing about it is, like, if you have thin lips, you probably like look better with your thin lips, and it's just like if you get it done and then you're like, no, see, I like how I look better. It's like you've also been programmed for how many years now? Like, I feel like I've been seeing this since I was like in middle school. On it, like, oh yeah, I didn't have Instagram in middle school, but at least like my first year of high school, I'm pretty sure this was already like Instagram models, like, wow, how does this woman have such big, beautiful lips? Or not how, but just like, wow, this woman looks so beautiful with her big, beautiful lips. Seems like that when you first ever see it. And then it's like when everybody has it, it starts to look like, oh, since I already know what I'm looking at, it looks like odd and weird. And they just can't stop. They don't like do a moderate amount and then just stop there. They just continue to add more and more and more. And I don't know if it's like a price incentive from the people that are doing it to them.
Well, if you hate the way you look and you hate things about yourself, people can exploit that. People can exploit you hating the way you look to sell you makeup, to sell you hair dye, to sell you clothing, to sell you weight loss pills, to sell you, plastic surgery, to sell you laser eye surgery, to sell you everything. They want everyone to hate themselves. If you hate yourself, you're going to be depressed. You're going to be easy to handle. You're going to be prescribed, pills that make you even easier to handle. You're going to be easily influenced into overconsumption of things to try to fill that emptiness inside of you from hating yourself.
And if you even just have to be on pills, then you're a forever pharma patient.
Forever pharma patient. If you hate the gender that you are, if you hate the way your face looks, if you hate that you're, too whatever, it's just everything about yourself. You're never good in the societal pressures. Like if you're too skinny, you're too fat, you're too muscular for a woman, you're not muscular enough for a man. Like everything about everyone is constantly being criticized from every direction of media that you get.
Yeah, with men, it's like less about
those people don't
wrinkles,
even
but-
look like that.
Yeah, exactly. Like notice or realizing that like whenever you see a celebrity on a magazine, their face is not actually that smooth, like texture and stuff like that. But with men, it's like less about like wrinkles on their face, but they are absolutely getting drawn into this crap with like they've been getting surgeries to get taller, which are apparently really incredibly painful.
That's insane.
Yeah, crazy.
It's insane. And like I forgot now. You said something and then I was
Hair?
like, oh.
Well, I was just gonna say like men getting hair transplants that look really bad too. But I mean, sometimes they might look good. But yeah, that's another thing that's being pushed at men. And like clavicular, you know that guy
hitting himself in the face with hammers and stuff.
Yeah, and then he just overdosed on that. Apparently, meth. People are saying meth.
Yeah,
and he's only 21.
Yeah, he says he's gonna stop doing all the drugs.
Yeah,
and not make live streams or whatever.
Yeah,
IRL streams or what he was calling them.
Somebody was like, "Oh, great, clavicular was on meth." Famously easy to get off drug, and now that he wants to get off it, it'll be no problem. He'll just get right off it. Great to hear that. And it's not like I'm like hoping he doesn't get off meth. It's just like it seems like something you'd probably need to go to like a clinic for.
I remember what I was going to say now.
Okay.
So like on Reddit in like the makeup subreddits or the skincare subreddits, people are constantly posting pictures of their skin and like, why does my makeup look like this? Like showing pores and stuff. And like, why does my skin look like this? Why can you see my pores? And they're like, because you have skin.
Yeah.
Like that's what it looks like. When you put makeup on, you can see that you're wearing makeup. Like it's just what skin looks like. It has texture. You're not airbrushed. And these, teenagers and stuff, they don't know that because they're consuming media where everything's filtered and airbrushed and like nothing is real. There is no reality in that world. And so they're just hating themselves because they can't live up to this standard that's in their head of looking picture perfect all the time. It's sad.
Yeah, I agree. It's not good. And I do think that like, in general, I've always thought that like they, them and those, they want to keep us like stressed out and stressed out people are just easier to control. And that's why they do like all these psyops where there's like, there was an explosion in New York City today and stuff like that. So you're always stressed out, but then there's all kinds of other angles for you to be stressed out about, like hating yourself and the way you look or any other reason. Like, yeah, I really think that a lot of these like red pill things for men are just like things to funnel men into being more lonely, because it's just like I listened to somebody do a review of a book from someone named Milo. I forget his last name. He's a red pill. No, actually. It was a different guy that I had only just barely heard about, but he wrote a book called Women Deserve Less. And so I was listening to this woman like reviewing the book, and it was so bad. Like, he did like bad math in multiple parts of it. But anyways, he was basically coming to the conclusion that like you're better off without women, or just like that they should not be treated very well anyway. But all that advice like that he was giving, in my opinion, was just like, it's almost like self-fulfilling prophecies. It's like, if you think all women are going to reject you, and you read this and you're like, yeah, actually I'm right to just stay at home and watch porn instead or whatever. Mm-hmm. Then you're just going to end up
bettering
lonely.
myself.
Yeah.
Instead of bettering myself and making myself more desirable, I'll just hate everyone.
Yeah, and it's definitely not true that all women are like, you need to be 6 feet tall. That's so stupid. Like, I've literally never met a woman that actually was like, he needs to be 6 feet tall.
Right, but that's what you're fed in the media.
Right.
Because they want everyone to hate each other. Mm-hmm. And yeah, the other thing about wanting everyone to be stressed out is that raises your cortisol, which lowers your immune system, which makes you more susceptible to being sick all the time. Mm-hmm. And so now more customers.
Yep, that's definitely true. And raising your cortisol also makes you less beautiful.
Mm-hmm. It makes you fatter.
It really does.
Mm-hmm.
There's
makes
even
you
like
sleep worse.
a syndrome where your face gets big because you're on cortisol. But yeah, you are, but it's from inside your brain.
And then people get addicted to it too, and they don't know how to like not.
Yeah, I've definitely met people that like, every time you talk to them, it's like some huge tragedy or huge drama going on in their life, and it's just like, you like this, don't you? Because it's like it's always constantly,
because they're addicted to it. They don't know how to function without that high, strong anxiety feeling.
And it's sad when somebody's like, parents are the reason they're that way, but it's just like maybe pointing it out to them can help them figure it out.
Maybe they won't listen to you though.
Yeah, that's a good point. So we went on the tangent about anti-aging because it's just like, oh, of course that's what's behind this. They're secretively cloning humans because of anti-aging. Like, that doesn't surprise me at all. So, so they're saying that they're exploring the idea of human cloning as part of a secretive effort to realize an alternative to anti-aging tech that sounds like it was ripped straight out of a dystopian science fiction novel. A billionaire backed... Of course. Oh, is that one guy, Brian Johnson, in this? Because he hates aging and he doesn't want to die.
Maybe. I don't know.
A billionaire-backed stealth startup called R3 Bio recently announced that it was raising money to develop non-sentient monkey organ sacs. This sounds disgusting.
Yeah.
Are they just calling it monkey because it's literally human and they're like, well, humans are monkeys? I could totally see that being a thing. But
well, you know how close monkeys are to humans. If you can do it on a monkey, that's the next step. Like, that's the next progression in the scientific exploration. There is they do it on the monkeys first, and then it's easy.
Yeah, but what do they mean by organ sacs?
Oh, you'll see.
As Wired reported last week, an eyebrow-raising alternative to animal testing. Such structures would contain all typical organs, including the brain.
Excluding the brain.
Oh, sorry. Excluding the brain. Mm-hmm. Ultimately serving as a source for donor organs and tissues. Here's one thing, though. Every time there's a test done, not a test, a study done, and it's either... There's like two terms. It's like in vivo or not in vivo. Mm-hmm. So in vivo is like actually done on humans. And then the other one that I don't know if the term is literally not in vivo is like, well, this was just done on a petri dish, but that's what we concluded. It's always less valuable to do a test and say that this literally means this is what happens with the cells when it's in like a petri dish, because it's like there's always the possibility that cells don't operate the same inside your body as they will operate in a petri dish, and like that's been proven. That's why in vivo is like the gold standard. Mm-hmm. So it's just like, just because you're testing something on a organ sac without a brain, it's like so stupid to act like that's like good enough. You know what I mean?
They're calling it an organ sac because they don't want to say we're making mentally retarded, deformed monkeys that have just a brain stem.
Yeah.
So it's like a whole monkey.
Ew.
But without like all the critical parts of your brain that help you do things.
But even that, then
so you're
it's
just like a zombie.
But it's like your brain controls so much stuff like hormones and stuff like that tell your cells what to do. So it's just like, I can't imagine this is literally one-to-one, like good enough to test things
There have
on.
been human beings that have lived without most of their brain. So like as long as you keep enough to keep your vital functions running.
So they're going to have some part of their brain?
Yeah, they'll have like, just a brain stem and not like the cerebellum and stuff like that. Like you'll just have absolute basic functions. So
But
it's
even
a
then,
whole...
it's like, if a human being has like most of their brain gone, I bet their body actually doesn't function the same way as like everybody else's.
I mean, no, you're never going to be a whole functioning person, but you're going to be good enough to grow organs and...
That's really disgusting. Seriously, this is really nasty.
They don't even have to do anything to grow the organs.
I don't even like
do
monkeys.
all the work.
I'm not like
I don't like monkeys either.
Like a monkey lover. I think that some monkeys are cute, like really, really small ones.
They're all
like
creepy though.
Like soft and stuff like that. But yeah, most of them are gross and creepy. And it's not like I'm like bleeding heart for monkeys and still this is way too far and disgusting.
I guess most monkeys are fine. It's the apes. I don't like apes.
Yeah, honestly, it's like I've never went and tried to learn the difference. I just think
chimps are apes, and chimps creep me out.
They're gross. Mm-hmm. The one in The Lion King with the blue butt is really gross too.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what he is, an orangutan.
Baboon.
Yeah. But according to a sprawling follow-up investigation by MIT Technology Review, R3 Bio's founders secretly have a far more ambitious goal in mind, creating entire brainless clones of the human body that aging or ill individuals could one day transplant their brain into. Ew, that's disgusting. So just putting, like, how could it possibly be something you would want to live in after it's lived in an environment like that its whole life? Like, imagine you get put into it and you're like, my entire body hurts because it's, like, never moved or something.
So the weird thing is like, there have been reports that organs carry memory. Like, somebody will get an organ transplant and then they'll, like...
Know another language. Or like have some kind of preference that the person had before.
So like what happens when you get your brain put into a zombie body that probably lived, because if they have enough brain stem there to grow their body and have basic functions, they probably have some like base level horror that they're living in.
Ew, that's so true and so gross.
Yeah.
Well, more about these brainless clones coming up. This is really gross, and if you're interested in this just because you don't want to age, then you should get checked into a mental hospital. More Free Talk Live coming up. You can call in and bring up whatever's on your mind. 603-283-6160 is the phone number. More Free Talk Live coming up.
The Shire Free Church offers a sanctuary to those seeking an escape from state churches.
The Shire Free Church is an interfaith, diverse group of people that may not share identical theological beliefs.
As a member in or minister of the Shire Free Church, you are a sovereign individual and may be the faith of your choice.
We don't claim to have all of the answers.
We are open to all peaceful people.
We want to learn from each other.
What unifies the Shire Free Church and its diverse members is peace,
love,
and liberty. There are many paths to God, one for every individual.
The Shire Free Church does not define a specific path beyond these parameters that must be your foundation.
Peace as your way.
Love as your guide.
And liberty as your light.
Learn more at church.shiresociety.com.
That's church.shiresociety.com.
From Feature Story News in Washington, I'm Tony Waterman. President Donald Trump says the U.S. blockade on Iran will remain in force until a deal is reached, despite Iran saying that the Strait of Hormuz is now completely open. President Trump also said that Israel is, quote, prohibited from bombing Lebanon. FSN's Nick Harper reports from Washington.
In a flurry of social media posts, Donald Trump said that even though the Strait of Hormuz was completely open and ready for business, the US naval blockade on Iranian ports will remain in effect. That until a deal is achieved with Tehran. The next round of talks are expected to take place in Islamabad in the coming days. He's also said that Iran has agreed to hand over its nuclear dust. And with the Israel-Lebanon ceasefire in effect, he's written on social media that Israel is prohibited from bombing Lebanon any longer.
The UK and France say that they will lead a multinational mission to protect freedom of navigation in the Strait of Hormuz, despite President Trump telling NATO allies in a social media post to stay away. The two co-hosted a meeting in Paris. FSN's Ollie Barrett reports from London.
The UK and France say they will lead what will be a defensive mission in the Strait of Hormuz when conditions allow. And what they and their allies mean by that is when there is a cessation in hostilities between the US and Iran, which can be viewed as something fairly permanent. Now, there are a number of countries, they say, that will contribute to this mission in the forms of vessels that can escort ships, the minesweeping capability that might be required as well. Iran said that it was opening the Strait of Hormuz to all commercial shipping. That has received a cautious welcome from those gathered.
The acting director of America's Immigration and Customs Enforcement Agency, or ICE, is resigning after just over a year in the role. The Homeland Security Secretary announced the move, with Markwayne Mullin labeling Todd Lyons as a, quote, great leader. FSN's Mitch McCann reports.
Todd Lyons has overseen the president's deportation efforts across the country, something Mr. Trump campaigned on, but which has also been the subject of widespread criticism for the harsh nature of immigration raids. Mr. Lyons was also in charge of ICE when Alex Pretty and Renee Good were shot dead by federal agents during separate incidents in Minneapolis, and most Americans polled believe the tactics used by ICE have gone too far. Mr. Lyons' planned departure will take place at the end of May after he wrote to Secretary Mullin saying that my sons are both reaching a pivotal point in their lives and my wife and I wish to spend as much time as possible with them.
From bureaus worldwide, this is FSN.
We're still not sure why you'd want to watch, but our video feed is streaming nightly for free at cam.freetalklive.com.
It's Free Talk Live talk radio that you control. That means that even now, you can call 603-283-6160 to get in on the conversation with us. That's 603-283-6160 to bring up whatever's on your mind. And with you on Free Talk Live tonight, you've got me, Bonnie.
And Lori.
And in the last segment, we were talking about these weirdos who are doing a new business where, or a tech startup thing where they're it's called R3 Bio, where they're trying to raise money to develop non-sentient monkey organ sacs without a brain in order to do testing on that's less, in their opinion, less immoral than testing on a real monkey with a brain. But according to a sprawling follow-up investigation by MIT Technology Review, R3 Bio's founders secretly have far more ambitious goals in mind, creating entire brainless clones of the human body that aging or ill individuals could one day transplant their brain into. And I was like, this sounds like Brian Johnson. So I looked it up, and yes, Brian Johnson, the guy who's a billionaire, he doesn't go in the sun, so he's really white, and he's obsessed with not dying. He said he created a cult called Don't Die. He even just said it's a cult. And him and his weirdo friends or whatever, they're all into anti-aging. So it's like, oh, billionaire-backed anti-aging, sounds like him. I looked it up. He is involved in R3 Bio. So, yeah, so that the aging or ill individuals can transplant their brains into their little tether clone. And it says, one advantage, this is from activistpost.com, by the way, it says, one advantage of not developing the brain in the donor bodies, albeit a ghoulish one, such a brain-free clone would neatly circumvent certain moral conundrums over the concept.
Disagree.
That was not my opinion. Yeah.
No. So can you take someone who's profoundly disabled and just hijack their body, because that's basically saying.
Yeah, or just like somebody who's brain dead in a coma,
Right.
and they're
Just give me that body.
Yeah, their friends haven't decided to pull the plug yet. Just like, oh yeah, just let me put my brain in that.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with it.
Right. I prefer to be 5'7" and they're 5'7", so just give me their body.
Wow, it's gross and creepy, and it's just like, yeah, there are things that it will lead to, even if it's not always just this exact thing, if that makes sense. So like I feel like there are other things people will start to say are okay once they say this is okay.
Mm-hmm. I already have a problem with like the CRISPR gene editing of babies.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is far beyond that.
Yeah, I don't like that either.
It's weird. Like, just let it have whatever color eyes it's going to have, or like be whatever gender it's going to be. Like, just leave it alone. Why are you doing that? Why are you so shallow that you need to go in and edit the genes of your baby so that it comes out looking the way you want, like it's some kind of like a car
Toy,
or something?
Yeah, exactly. It's gross and weird. It says, still, to call the idea ethically fraught would be a vast understatement. Despite an insider likening a pitch they heard from R3's founder, John Scholendorn, a close encounter of the third kind with Dr. Strangelove. Yeah, I'm sure he's a total freaking weirdo. In an interview with Tech Review, the company has since distanced itself from the idea of brainless human clones.
Yeah, distanced themselves publicly.
That's hilarious. The company said its founder never made any statement regarding hypothetical non-sentient human clones that would be carried by surrogates. What? Would be carried by surrogates?
Yeah, nobody even... Yeah, they hadn't even mentioned that part yet. But how do you think these things are going to be born?
I honestly imagined it like being made in a lab somehow.
No, it's going to be a person.
That
like a
is
whole
disgusting.
person.
Seriously.
You imagine being like paid to raise a little disabled person out of your body and like
just
and then
put
hand
it in
it
a
over
lab?
and then hand it over to some scientists.
No, that's sick. That's really gross.
Right.
Horrible.
Right.
In a statement to Tech Review, they said that they have never made any statement about that. It's like you went into too much detail in your retort or whatever.
Right, when somebody denies something with like way too many things that you didn't ask about.
I never had sex with that woman in that room, and we didn't use these items.
The cigars.
Sorry. Yeah. I was like, well, maybe I should go. So they said that never happened in a statement to Tech Review, and insisted that any allegations of intent or conspiracy to create human clones or humans with brain damage are categorically false. Strikingly, though, co-founder Alice Gilman told the publication that the team reserves the right to hold hypothetical futuristic discussions about brainless clones involving humans.
So like one person from the company was like, no. The other one's like,
we have the right to.
Yeah, it's totally fine if we're doing that. It's fine if we talk about that.
Yeah, he was like, even intent or conspiracy. And this other person's like, well, we're talking about it, or we have the right to talk about it.
You guys should have had a chat beforehand.
Beyond the ethical implications, experts also threw cold water on the biological feasibility of full body replacement. There are so many barriers. Michigan State University researcher Jose Sibeli, who was among the first to try to clone human embryos by obtaining matched stem cells in the early 2000s, told Tech Review, from illegality and safety issues to the fact that an artificial womb remains science fiction.
Yeah, but that's not anything that they're talking about. They're talking about putting these little gene-edited babies into women's wombs. So, like, you don't need... And illegality never stopped anyone from anything.
Yeah, they'll just change the laws if anything.
Right. So you don't need any kind of artificial womb. You don't need anything like that. You just need the things that we already currently have, like CRISPR and a human.
Yep, that wants money.
Right.
Like I listened to a story today. This guy was just telling like his paranormal story. I listened to like tons of podcasts like that. And before he got to the paranormal part, he was just telling like the story of his life, which is already interesting enough and like kind of crazy. Like he got kidnapped. Him and his sister got kidnapped by his mom when they were kids. And he was saying that his mom was a drug addict and like kidnapped them, and they were like, oh, this is fun. We're going on a road trip. And then they ended up in another state, and then she takes them to a drug deal and is like, I'll give you my daughter.
Oh my God.
But the drug dealer luckily was like, no, and called the cops, and they end up back at their grandma's, so that's good and everything. But I bring up all that to say, like, if you can get a mother to do that, you can get some drug addicted woman to carry a weird fetus.
Right, and who cares if it comes out addicted to morphine, doesn't even have a brain.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good point. Yep. He says you'd have to convince a woman to carry a fetus that is going to be abnormal. And like I'm saying, I think you could convince a lot of women who want money.
Right.
The considerable yuck factor.
And they don't have to take care of it either. Like,
yeah,
that would be most people, like somebody who wants the money to like just get pregnant and push a baby out. They don't have to take care of it. So what do they care if it comes out with no brain?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. This is gross, but I think it's very possible you could get women to do this.
Yeah, absolutely.
And maybe it's why surrogacy has been kind of like pushed in general recently, because in a way I find it like kind of gross. Like I don't think that I could say like surrogacy itself is immoral, but it's like I've seen so many cases that end up gross and like reasons that it's not good for the kids and stuff like that.
I don't know how anyone could do it.
I don't either.
Like
it's
having
crazy.
had people grow inside of me.
Yeah.
There's no way I could just be like, here you go.
Exactly.
No way.
And it's kind of so disturbing. It's like I almost don't want to bring it up, but just today and yesterday there was this video going viral where these two gay men that adopted a kid, and I hate the like gay slander that comes from this, because it's like not every gay guy is this psychopathic, and I don't think they all want to do this, and I don't think they all would. But these two gay guys that adopted or had a baby with a surrogate, the baby is like 6 to 9 months old, I'll say, just by like looking at it. And the baby, they were going like, which daddy do you want? The baby was like, mama, mama. And they were like, no, you don't have a mama. And then the baby was crying. Mm-hmm. And they were like, everybody was saying this is sick. They're making fun of this baby for not having a mom. And it kind of like literally does come off that way. Maybe the baby is literally not saying mama. It's a really disturbing. It's like the fact that they decided to film and thought that was cute and funny and post it.
Yeah, that part's weird. But like when babies learn how to talk, they can only make so many sounds. Mm-hmm. And
that's what I was thinking too, as a like
M sound
back and forth to this.
The M sound and the D sound are usually the two that like one or the other comes first. Like both my kids said dada first, but they weren't like dada because they were looking for dad. Mm-hmm. They were just making whatever noise came first.
Yeah.
And
I've heard that that's why almost all languages mama is, or like something like mama is the word for mom.
Right.
Yeah.
And dada is the other one. Mm-hmm. Right. It only makes, those are the two ones that they come out with first, is mama and dada. And it's not because they're saying that.
But even if that is not what the baby was saying, it's like gross that they think it's funny to post that on the internet.
Yeah, that part's gross. And also the part where the baby cried, like the baby's not crying because they said you don't have a mama. He's crying because the word no is negative. Like when your baby's growing up and they touch something, you say no, and the baby's trying to talk to you for the first time, like saying words, and you say no to that baby's like, what's your problem?
It's just kind of like, also it's like, I just feel like there is a disconnect between somebody who buys a baby, even if you are a woman, and the person who the baby grew inside them and they had it and everything. And it's like, I'm not trying to be anti like any sort of adoption or anything, but when it's just like frivolous, like I'm Kim Kardashian and I didn't like being pregnant because it made me fat. I think that it's kind of like sad and gross because like the baby has a connection with that other person. The other person also has the connection with the baby, and they just like signed up for money. And I'm not saying, okay, I think it's stupid when people try to make it, oh, it's also unlibertarian because these contracts are bad for the women. It's like, well, they should have negotiated better.
Right,
I'm
that
sorry.
part, who cares?
Yeah, it's like you're an adult woman. But you should probably negotiate better.
But when you're pregnant, your baby hears your voice. Like they know their mother's voice when they're born already because they hear you inside the womb. And like you develop a connection. That baby has a connection with you. And like they have your DNA in them. They're forever part of you, you know?
And it's even just like unhealthy for a woman to not like be bonding with and then breastfeeding their babies. So it's kind of like sick.
Yeah, the push like anti-breastfeeding thing, that's a whole nother thing that I hate. But the buying of a child is weird to me. Like,
yes,
if
that's the part about it.
If like my best friend or something was like, I literally can't have a baby and I want one so bad, and will you have a baby for me? Then I could see being like, sure, just like pay the medical bills, like doing it out of the goodness of your heart, not to get a paycheck. But like buying and selling human beings is weird.
The other thing about it though is that like so many babies are going to be born without parents. So like why it's like, I feel like it's, yeah, I do understand as I'm older, like why so many people have told me why they wouldn't adopt, because it's like, oh, the kids that it's kind of going to sound mean, but it's like, I can kind of understand. It's like some people are like, well, the kids they're put into adoption, it's like you can't control like what they've been through like their parents either doing drugs while they're pregnant with them or just being like toxic or just being like low IQ. It's like I can kind of understand
traumatized
that. And traumatized and stuff like that. But still, it's like I feel like I'd still choose that over just like, well, I have to have a baby with my DNA. It's like it's like God seemed to have said no.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, the thing about it is I'm not like 110% anti either direction, and I definitely don't like the stupid argument that's like it's not libertarian because women can't read contracts. That's stupid.
How are you even reading this article, Bonnie?
Yeah, exactly. But I think there will definitely be women that will not give a crap what the contract says and carry a fetus that has no brain and sell it to some company.
Absolutely.
Because they want money, and that's gross. But this guy, for whatever reason, Sibeli, he thinks that the considerable yuck factor seemingly has R3's founders undeterred. So Sholin Dorn, that's the man who's like the main owner of this company, has been investigating the idea of human replacements for years now. And he's like,
no,
there is no evidence.
We've never even thought of this before.
Regularly giving seminars behind the scenes about the idea. He's like literally like a Dr. Strangelove like bad guy. Behind the scenes about the idea and pitching investors on it. He said, we will try to do it in a way that produces defined societal benefits early on, and we need to be prepared to take no for an answer if it turns out this cannot be done safely. He wrote in a 2024 LinkedIn message to Tech Review. Okay, so he's totally been discussing doing it for a long time.
Right, and like in a publication, and then he's like, no, we're not talking about that.
I mean, at least he said we need to be prepared to take no for an answer. At first, I almost read that wrong. I thought it said we need to prepare to not take no for an answer. But no, like at least he's saying that. Maybe I doubt it. People break.
I also doubt it.
Break laws all the time. Says he declined an interview with the magazine, arguing that he wanted to show that the benefits are reasonably grounded in reality before taking R3 out of stealth mode.
What benefits other than having no humanity would there be? Like, you have no humanity as a person if you think it's okay to just grow another person to use their organs. You're not fit for society if you think that that's fine.
And I just also think that I think people are deluded and silly if they think we're there yet, because it's like, yeah, like people don't actually completely agree on where memories reside. There's like Ian and I used to read these books by this guy that studied near-death experiences, and one guy we learned about through those books was this guy that he was like, I am a brain scientist of some sort. I don't remember his name. I remember he was from Canada. And he was like, I'm going to prove that consciousness is in the brain because I'm tired of these hippies saying otherwise. And he spent years and years looking for where is consciousness in the brain? And eventually he was like, nope, it's totally not in the brain. And so he like did the most researching he possibly could. It's like, I just think that there's something outside of just simply like, well, we have a liver here and a skeleton and we're just going to put your brain inside it and that's just going to be fine. Like, I feel like there actually is something that we don't understand, whether it's, actually like spiritual, meaning like absolutely outside of the physical realm. I don't even know that I believe that is a thing, but something we don't understand definitely about like human life. Like, I don't know that I believe that if you just took my brain and put it into a monkey sack or whatever, that I would just be like, oh, here I am in the monkey sack now. I don't know that I believe that. It's like, you don't even know what will start talking out of it.
Yeah, I don't believe that either because it doesn't make any sense. Everybody's brain develops roughly the same way. You know what I'm saying? Like, the structures of your brain are made. But every single individual person I've met is so vastly different from each other in so many different ways. Even two siblings raised in the same house, like raised with the same parents, same house,
even
same
twins.
Experiences. Twins, even twins have so many differences that there has to be something other than your brain that's creating who you are. And I think that it's the energy. Like, I think it's the big giant energy that we are breaks off into little pieces.
Yeah.
And each little piece of energy creates a person.
and is like definitionally unique.
Yeah.
And it's not even that I'm trying to be like, oh, they're playing God and that's just for some reason wrong. It's not even that, because it's like, well, what is the reason it's wrong? I'm not saying that at all. I'm just simply saying I think they're deluded if they think that they know exactly how this will go. You see what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't think they understand that at all, because like scientists don't agree on stuff like what we were saying.
And it's not even about playing God, because I wouldn't agree with it either if you were growing a separate dog to take organs from to give to your dog. And I don't think dogs are the same level as human beings, like in terms of life forms.
Yeah. We have David from New Mexico on the line, so I'm going to go to the phones. David, you're on Free Talk Live. What's on your mind?
Lori, what have you been up to?
Oh man, I lived in Vermont for a while. That was rough.
For a while? What do you mean?
Yeah.
Now you moved back to New Hampshire?
Yeah, I'm back in New Hampshire. I'm back in Keene.
So what was rough about Vermont?
It's terrible. The roads are terrible. They don't like get rid of the ice and snow in the winter, and that's terrible. There's junkies and homeless people everywhere, and that's terrible. And everyone's a crazy leftist, and that's terrible. Like there's constantly protests in the streets all the time, and like it's just kind of not my favorite place. It's pretty. It's really pretty.
Why did you ever go there?
I found a really nice apartment for like a decent price, and heat was included. So,
well, I guess heat's important to where you're at.
Yeah.
What town was that?
It was in Brattleboro.
He's like writing all this down.
Yeah.
Like what?
In Brattleboro.
Oh, right. Okay. Cool.
He's adding it to my file.
Yeah. No, yeah. Right. Why did you guys ever move there in the first place?
The place we were living in was going to be sold, and we were like, oh, let's get ahead of that before someone buys it. So we just found another place to go. Because I don't,
cool.
You don't want to live somewhere while it's being sold, and then the person comes in, and like you might end up with a terrible, terrible landlord at that point.
Right.
But it was funny because I moved into that place in Vermont, and then it got sold like a month after we moved in to someone else. But he ended up being totally great, so that was okay.
How did you square that or rationalize that with the whole New Hampshire thing, and then you're like in Vermont?
It's not far. That's where I go to get my tattoos removed. Appointments. It's like 25 minutes from here.
Yeah, it's just literally right over the line. When I would order Walmart delivery, it would come from New Hampshire to Vermont because I was closer to the New Hampshire Walmart than I was any other like Vermont place.
I drive farther to go to a chiropractor. Other direction though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I was just wondered why you left the paradise of New Hampshire.
I just didn't find any apartment that I liked in that time. Like I went and looked at some, and they were not great. There was just nothing available at that time that I liked, and there was one right over the border, and so I was like, I'll just take that one for now. I only have to stay here for as long as the lease.
She was still doing the show for a while while living there. It just became like really even worse even in the winter.
Yeah, the winter time was rough.
Yeah. What about buying a place?
I'd like to do that. We're trying to get to that point.
New Hampshire has some of the worst housing market apparently right now, where everything's like expensive and sells fast. Really?
I saw a really nice house that I liked. Stu was like, oh, there's got to be problems with it. Because I found a house that I really liked. It's like 45 minutes north of here, which is the only bummer about it. But like it was only $158,000, and it's got a 3-bedroom apartment with 1.5 baths, and then a separate apartment with like 1 bedroom, 1 bathroom. And I was like, oh, you can rent that out, and
like a duplex.
Yeah, like a duplex with like a little apartment and then a big one. And Stu's like convinced there's got to be something wrong with it.
Maybe
this
is like old news anyway. Like I feel like them and those have been saying like the housing is so bad here for years now.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know that it's worth another place. My sister and her husband just bought a house in Washington, and the price on that was pretty crazy.
Yeah,
when she sent me the link for it, I was like, whoa, all right. So
what about buying a piece of land and starting from scratch?
That would also be fine, since Stu is a building person. That's what he does for work.
Freemason.
We just haven't done it yet.
Stu's a Freemason?
No.
He's a contractor.
He's living free and he's a Mason.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. I don't know if Mason only means like building with rocks.
I think so. I think Mason's like
stoneworking.
Stonework.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about Illuminati? Is he Illuminati?
Yes.
I don't think so. I mean, I don't know him that well, but I don't think so.
Oh my God. Is that it, David? Did you have anything else for us?
Anything else for my dossier that you need?
And Stu's not a Freemason?
Hey, FBI guy. What else was I supposed to ask her? Just a minute. He's checking. He's got to call the boss.
Okay.
You know, you don't have much time left, dude. There's like a couple minutes left in the show. Hurry up. She'll get away, man. She's going to get away again.
How have the rats been? Do you still have pet rats? Or were they bunnies?
Well, I do, and I don't. It's funny you should ask. One of the poor idiots got itself killed. It decided to climb up something that a piece of stovepipe was leaning against, and then decided to go down in the stovepipe. You know, jump in, which means like a slide, slide all the way down to the 6 foot length of pipe, and then couldn't get out. And until I smelled something bad and discovered the poor little creature. But one of them is still I hear him every day doing his little tap 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 tap. Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
So anyway, and I see their little footprints running around, you know, in the sand at night when I'm sleeping.
That is so sad that the one died, and it's such a horrible way to die. Somebody I know was telling me that a rat died in the wall right next to their bed, so they're like, every time they're going to bed, and there was like, they were renting, and there was like no way the landlord was going to come do it. Yeah.
Why would you not sleep in the living room?
I don't know.
Like, I would not be sleeping in that bedroom.
Yeah, it's horrible. Well, this has been Free Talk Live. You can go to freetalklive.com for more. Also, we're on Twitter at Free Talk Live. Yeah, so whatever, X, I don't care. More Free Talk Live tomorrow. Peace.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is